El Sai Kongroo. Hello, everybody. I spy Moshi. I spy a Yubi. How you doing? I spy a Pika and an Orville too. How are all of you doing? Are y'all? Who is ready for something that I should have done a long time ago, which is to say, like, I should have finished this game a long time ago, but I have not because I am a procrastinator. And yeah. So I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. I am a silly person who has not finished it yet. Oh, hi, Cosmetica. Ochi got scared because he's a... You fumbled your word. Yeah, you're just gonna do Pika's propaganda corner. You meant to say Pika. You were trying to talk about Pika there? Oh my god, Cosmetica. What even? Gosh dang it. Y'all are like so freaking silly. Your brain's getting fried from your geometry work? Well, just wait until you get to calc. Wait until you have to start doing calculus. Honestly, calculus is not... Honestly, calculus isn't that bad. I don't know what I'm hyping people up. I don't know what I'm hyping it up about. Okay, anyway, hi everyone, how are you doing? Y'all ready? You want to spread the good word of love life? But you see, Pika, that's not Pika propaganda. That's not even propaganda, that's just truth. You know? The way I see it, it's like preaching the gospel. Or doing a public service announcement about getting up to date on your current vaccines, you know? Anyway, but how's everyone doing? We are doing... You're hearing two emojis and it feels like you've taken the wrong meds. Are you listening? Wait, is Pico... Wait, I'm guessing Pika's watching. Are you watching on Are you watching Pika live stream? Wait, what? What? The Johann and Metroidvania got a threat in the archipelago? What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, Pika, I definitely know what I'm going to be doing next archipelago. Assuming I beat the game vanilla first, of course. Which, let's be honest, probably will. At the rate that we're going, I'll probably have beaten the game vanilla 20 times over. But until we do that, though, who is ready? This is the game. I should have finished a long time ago, but I have not for some reason. As you can see, I barely made any progress. I only got like 7% of the trophies. And remember, this is a visual novel, so like, you know, it's mostly just progression anyway. So like, very early. Only got a thread in the dev channel, not an AP world. I mean, true. But still, the fact that someone is like interested in that shows that, yeah. Sounds like something I really should. It sounds like something I should get to training on. Just think, there is a multiverse that exists where Johanne has to sends Link's like light arrows and like. And Sora's proof of non-existence. Like, think about that. Anyway, but yeah. So we are playing Steins Gate 0 today. Now, for those who don't know, by which I mean mostly people who are not named Pika. Also, thank you, Cosmetica, for the stretch. I actually just stretched as well. Steins Gate Zero is a sequel of sorts. Kind of. Fish! Anyway, it is a kind of sequel of sorts to the original Steins Gate, only not really. It's, in a way, it's kind of like an extended alternate ending to Steins Gate. But one that is very necessary for the true ending of that game to even transpire. And, yeah. So, yeah. And you just enter the eternity of Aqua. Wait, are they... Wait, really? Wait, are they, like... Are they Czechs? Is each member of Aqua just a MacGuffin that you send? That's so funny! I love it! Oh, and now, kind of a, recap of what happened. Yeah, spoilers, by the way. Oh, yeah, spoilers, by the way. Like, wow, like a sequel game that's like basically an alternate ending to one of the endings in Steins Gate. Spoiling Steins Gate, yeah. G, yeah. Who would have thought? The hatch opened. Bright light flooded my eyes. Where was I? My eyes narrowed. Any guess who this was? Any guess who this is? I could barely make out the summer's twilight sky. I didn't want to leave. I just wanted to disappear. But someone grabbed my arm and dragged me out. Whoa, he's back already! It hasn't even been a minute, has it? Okarin? I didn't have the energy to respond to my own nickname. I fell to the ground and wrapped my arms around myself. And hey, look! He gets familiar characters! Okarin! Mayuri ran to me and looked down, her face worried. Controller DC'd! Is it out of juice? Yeah, it was probably out of juice. Oh, dang. Hello? No! Controller! Okay, there we go. But her kindness felt like nothing but a nuisance. You saw this guy switch from Discord to offer an instant when I called him. I love it. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. Wait, you're covered in blood! What happened? Dad, get me a towel and water. Oh, and clothes, now! Huh? Can someone please tell me what's going on? Just do it, now! Okay. Daru ran to the door that led back inside the building. Okarin, are you okay? Hang in there. Don't die, please. It's fine. He's not hurt. Stop it. Just get away from me. Leave me alone. I couldn't save her. In fact, I killed her myself. Right here, 3 weeks ago. I killed her. I'm a murderer. It didn't work. No matter what we do, it's not going to work. It's all been decided already. It's the same. It's the same as it was with Mayuri. No matter how hard I try, it'll all end up the same. No matter how many times I try, it will all converge back to the same result. The process doesn't matter. Whether you time travel or time leap, you can't go back and change the results of the past. I thought I understood that cool truth. But now, I was forced to realize it again, and in the worst possible way. It's useless. Useless! It's all useless! I knew it. I can't save Kurisu. Boo! You stink! No, you stink, Orville! Can't you see a guy's having a mental breakdown over here? Anyway. I knew this. I knew this. I already knew this would happen. I'm so tired. I haven't rested in so long. I'm done. What happened? I killed her. I killed her. I'm an idiot. It's all my fault. Killed Kurisu Makise. Killed? That can't be true. It can't. Don't worry. You've got enough for one more attempt. Just leave me alone. No matter how many times I try, it'll all end up the same. What are you saying? Are you going to give up? Billions of lives depend on you, Uncle Okarin. Who cares if you fail once? Yeah, I know, right, Orville? Indeed. There's just no way to save Kurisu. You can't stop world line convergence. That's the reality of this world. I learned that a long time ago. I'll just have to slap some sense into him. You can't! It's not right to force him to do this! I can't bear to see Okarin like this. If he doesn't, the future won't change. Why? Why does Okarin have to change the future all by himself? That's too much for him to bear. Because only Uncle Okarin has the powers of an observer of the world. Okarin didn't want that. And I think even if he tried, he'd just get hurt again. It's impossible for one person to change the world all by themselves. And that's why Steins Gate is... I know how you feel, but I'm here for the sake of the future. I can't go back to 2036 either way, so I'm not going to give up so easily. Uncle Okarin, I'll tell you one thing. This time machine has a finite amount of fuel. At first, I told you that it could only be used to go there and back twice, but there's actually a little more fuel than that. Even so, it can only travel about 344 days. Even if you do a one-way trip, less than a year from now, you won't be able to reach July 28th. Remember this. When that day comes, I'll go myself if I must. Someone was saying something to me, but I couldn't understand the words. I didn't want to listen to anything. I just wanted to sleep. Just let this all end. Just let me go. Okarin? Okarin. Hey, Okarin. You don't have to push yourself so hard anymore, okay? It's okay to cry, Okarin. Mayushi is here for you. Okay, Okarin? Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Mayuri is a third-person person, so okay, that's gonna be a little bit annoying, understandably. That's one of the reasons why I prefer the dub. But anyway. I don't know if Mayuri's words were the reason why, but the tears started to flow. I decided to forget everything. Dean got... Yes, exactly, Pika. Ever since that day, I stopped going to the Future Gadget Lab. So yeah, as you're aware, in the original visual novel, he would just, Oh, absolute zero. Okay. Something. So yeah, in the original visual novel, he would actually take Suzuha up on her offer to go back in time. How Steins Gate Zero starts is he refuses to do that. He actively refuses. UPX, the new symbol of Akihabara, was located right in front of the station. In the hall on the 4th floor, preparations had been going on all morning for the ATF Akihabara Technoforum convention. Universities and labs from both inside and outside the country would work together to put on special seminars and symposiums at irregular intervals. My school, Tokyo Denki University, was participating as part of its industry collaboration efforts. Students were required to attend these seminars and submit reports to their instructors. Otherwise, they wouldn't get credit for their related classes. In addition, I was supposed to help one of the lecturers, Associate Professor Kizuki. I'd just gotten a list from the reception desk at the shared lobby. I was waiting to check off the names of the students who were coming to the lectures. There was still some time before the seminar started, so the lobby was mostly empty. None of the students on the list were here yet. I was bored, but I couldn't do anything but wait. The old me never could have imagined doing anything like this, but impressing Izuki was part of my new goal in life. Mitochondria University. Yes, that was my new goal. Izuki did a lot of joint research projects with them and knew a lot of people there. The best first step to getting there, my brain could come up with was being his assistant. Also, this convention was holding another seminar by Mitochondria University after the one held this summer. Of course, that interested me too. Summer. An image of her as she was then flashed through my mind. I was trying to get to Mitochondria so that I could learn about the work that Kurisu Makise had been doing. I wanted to try to do it myself. Of course, I wasn't a genius like Kurisu. I knew there was no way I'd ever be able to do exactly what she did. But if I could do even 10% of it... Honestly, I'm amazed that I've recovered so well. I thought that to myself and chuckled, just as a voice called out to me from across the lobby. Excuse me? I looked up and saw a young girl approaching from the elevator hall. She was short and petite. Everything about her was small. I could kind of make out a few of the curves that don't appear until after puberty, so at least she wasn't in elementary school, but... maybe middle school? For someone with such a cute face, she clearly didn't care about her appearance. Her hair wasn't styled and it poured down her back. Even I could tell her clothes weren't very fashionable. Excuse me, where's the staff room? This is the ATF seminar? Clearly not a place where a middle school girl belonged. Oh, okay, well this is his phone. Did I actually pull it up? Or was that automatic? Because I don't recall pushing anything. Okay, so you can trigger it by using the left trigger. And this is actually how you can, presumably just like in the original visual novel, this is how you can, I'm guessing there's a way to get to the true ending of this by using the phone. I'm probably not gonna do that, so in all likelihood, I'm gonna have to, replay, certain aspects of the game really fast to actually get to that part. But that's not too bad. Because I will be making, I will be saving periodically.
Machi X6,7.
Gosh dang it, Arbel! That makes no sense! Anyway. She'd probably just come to the wrong place. I know that! How many times am I going to have to say this? This is the first time you've said it to me. And you're the first person I said it to since I got here!
Why was the strawberry sad? Its parents were in a jam.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that. Irritated, she pulled a card out of her jacket. It was one of the IDs given out to invited guests. Her name and the name of her workplace were written on the front. Huh? Mitochondria University, USA. Brain Science Institute. Mitochondria University, USA. Brain Science Institute. I looked at the card, and then at her, then back at the card. Then I looked at her again. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he was like, "What? What did you want again?" Finally realized. Oh, so that's it. Where did you find this card? Thanks for bringing it back. I've done that 3 times already, too. She sighed and showed me another card. This one was a photo ID from Mitochondria University. What? It was the same ID I'd seen Kurisu holding before on another world line. The photo on the card. Yeah, that was definitely her. Maho Hiyajo. That's my name, Maho Hiyajo. I'll say it to you now, because nobody's ever been able to read it right. Not in Japanese or English.
I used to be addicted to soap. but I'm clean now.
Dang it, Orville. No one's never been able to write not in Japanese or English? Well, how do we tell her that I just pronounced it right? Humble brag. And you're from Victor Kondry University Middle School? Stop messing around. Universities don't have middle schools. That's true. Then you skipped a bunch of grades? Unlike in Japan, it wasn't uncommon for Americans to skip grades. Kurisu had made it to university at age 17. Still, a girl this young working in a university lab? Can I ask you something? Sure. You're feeling pretty shocked right now, right? Let me guess. A small child like this, I can't believe it, right? Or are you one of the she must be amazing to be able to do that at her age types? She got me. Look here, closely. The girl, Maho Hyojo, pointed to part of the idea with her slender fingers. Oh, November 2nd, 1989! She was born like 6 months before me! Yeah, so now we can. So now who's the boomer? Am I right? She was born in 1989, and it was 2010. So you're 21 years old. In other words, I'm an adult woman. I'm not in middle school, and of course, not in elementary school or daycare either. And then she puffed out her chest. There wasn't much to see, but I could imagine her saying, "They look bigger when I'm not wearing clothes. They're huge!" What's that look supposed to mean? No. Sorry. I apologize. I couldn't believe it. She was older than me. If Dado was here, he'd be dancing around screaming, "Legal lolly for the win!" It doesn't matter, I guess. I get the same thing all around the world, no matter where I go. Yeah, I'm sure. Did you say something? No, I didn't. Still, the Brain Science Institute. That's where Kurisu worked. Which means this person, might know a lot about Kurisu. I held back the impulse to start badgering her with questions. I'd looked at the pamphlet with the seminar schedules. Victor Kondry's lecture was the last one for the day and was clearly intended to be the biggest. Was this Maho Hyojo girl going to give a lecture? Just like Kurisu had done at the summer convention? No, wait, that's wrong. That never happened. Kurisu Makise never gave any lectures over the summer. That happened in the Alpha world line. In the world line I inhabited now, before the summer convention, she'd already... Are you giving the lecture today? No, I'm here as an assistant. Oh, and translator too. I looked at the pamphlet again and saw that the lecturer was a man named Alexis Leskin. Alexis Leskin? A professor at Victor Kondry University and the chief researcher of the Brain Science Institute. The topic is the artificial intelligence revolution, huh? Yeah, sounds interesting. If you've got the time, I'd love for you to come listen. I will. Oh, the staff room, right? I led Maho over to the elevator hall and showed her where the staff room was. Thanks. I had no reason to hang around her any further. I said goodbye and was just about to turn around. Just then, the elevator opened. A woman emerged. The instant I saw her face, every hair in my body stood on end. Oh hey, it's Moeka. Remember her? Pika, remember her? Moeka, Kiryu. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. Calm down. This is the beta world line. Mayuri is still alive. Moeka's not going to kill her. 4 days from now. Our eyes met. The eyes on the other side of her glasses were as dead as ever, and it was impossible to tell what she was thinking. I frantically averted my gaze before she realized something was wrong. She tilted her head for a second, but quickly lost interest in me and turned toward Maho. You're with a magazine, right? I'm here about that interview. Even in this world line, Moeka still only spoke in faint whispers. Dr. Leskinen isn't here yet. It may be a minute. Okay. If you want, I can go over the system until he gets here. Thank you. The two of them disappeared into the staff room. As I watched them leave, I took a deep breath. I tried to calm down, but it wasn't working. Moeka, Kiryu. Is it going to be you again? It was a terrible feeling, like a cold finger tracing the wounds in my heart. That night, when the terrorist threat shut down all the trains in Akihabara, that awful night when I just knew something was going to happen. Are you going to do it again, here? Or was I just imagining things? Was she just a magazine reporter now instead of a CERN rounder? No. Even if Moeka was a rounder, we had nothing to do with CERN anymore. CERN wouldn't be watching us. I took another deep breath, grabbed some of the anxiety meds in my pocket, and swallowed them down with some mineral water I'd bought ahead of time. It would take 15 minutes for them to kick in. Those 15 minutes were always pretty rough. I laughed at myself a little and sat down on one of the reception desk's chairs. The table was filled with leaflets, pamphlets, and other things for the attendees. Do I have something in my... I think I have something in my... Dang it. Do-do-do! Okarine, are things going okay with Mr. Seminar? Yeah, no problem. I see, that's great! I can't wait to see what kind of seminar it will be. Ayushi wishes she could have seen it too. It may be a little too hard for you to follow. You're right. Okay, I don't want to get in your way. Bye! So yeah, that stuff can happen periodically where someone just texts you a message. Well, okay, message you over line. Well, or it's Rhine in this game because, you know, copyright, but, you know. Anyway. The table was filled with leaflets, pamphlets, and other things for the attendees. My eyes wandered to one of the pamphlets. Nakabachi Theory and the Genealogy of Pseudoscience. This pamphlet was for Professor Izuki's seminar. Nakabachi Theory. The paper he'd announced in Russia. That paper held the key to creating a real time machine. On that day, July 28th, Nakabachi had stolen the paper from Kurisu, his own daughter, and left with it. I knew that. Only Nakabachi and I knew that. I flipped through the pamphlet. It was a brief introduction to the many forms of pseudoscience and fake scientific discoveries that had emerged since the start of the 20th century. On its own, it did make for interesting reading. And at the end of the pamphlet, Nakabachi Theory was introduced as nothing more than another entry in that long list of fakes. So, Dr. Nakabachi's time machine theory had been completely ignored by the academic world. All the glory, fame, and power he'd wanted so badly that he was willing to get rid of his own daughter, he didn't get any of it. And I'd heard rumors that after the announcement, he'd been in prison in a Russian lab. To make it even funnier, he thought he was getting VIP treatment. For a short time, there were essays and interviews in bogus academic journals. Even there, it was obvious it had gone to his head. The ironic thing was that Nakabashi theory was completely correct and completely revolutionary. The Russian government was worried about it leaking, and the SVR was doing everything it could to keep it under wraps. But under the surface, there was a full-scale information war beginning over the paper. The time traveler from 2036, John Titor, had told me so, which meant that had to be true. Was World War III really going to happen? There was no point in thinking about it. Just a little more before the drugs kicked in. I closed my eyes.
Several hours later.
The convention was going well. After Professor Izuki's seminar, most of the students from the university went home, but I killed some time and came back. I wanted to hear the Victor Kongroo lecture. I headed to the hall with plenty of time to spare and saw Maho Hiyajo coming from the staff room. She was with a very tall foreigner. Was that Alexis Lessican? It didn't seem like an American name, but maybe he was an immigrant like Kurisu, or at least descended from one. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but the looks on their faces were so serious that I couldn't help but listen. Since they were both speaking in English, I could barely make out any of it, but I could tell from their voices that it wasn't a pleasant chat. Wait, did I just hear the word Makise? I hated the fact that I couldn't speak English. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have gone to an English school. Two of them walked into the waiting room for lecturers. It was located right next to the UPX theater. I put together the few fragments I was able to understand. Fire at Kurisu's house. Mrs. Makise is alright. Robbery. The police called off the investigation. Why was the FBI there? It doesn't make any sense. I think that's what they were saying. But game! Kurisu's house? Yeah, exactly. If you went to an English school, this wouldn't happen. Does that mean where she lived in America? Her mother should still live in America. Is that where the fire was? And then words like robbery and the investigation was called off. I really wanted to know more. I stood there and worried until it was time for the lecture to begin. Nothing else to do, I went inside the theater. I can speak English, let me hear what they were saying! You know what? You're so right, Biga, you're so right. Exactly! That is what I call a good point. I could tell earlier by looking at the size of the crowds going inside, but it was a very high-energy crowd. The atmosphere was clearly different than Izuki's seminar, which was mostly students there for credit. The place was nearly full with a crowd of scientists and people who wanted to learn about cutting-edge technology. Victor Kongroo's researchers had published a slate of papers in science recently, and had gotten a lot of media attention. Maybe that was why. Were there any open seats? I found a single open seat at the edge. But when I looked at who was sitting next to it, I moaned. You again. Mooka Kiryu was there. She was speaking to no one, just typing endlessly into her phone. I'd once named her Shining Finger because of her incredible typing speed, and she was as fast as ever. Who was she talking to? I didn't even want to imagine. I quickly turned away and looked for another seat. Dr. Leskinen reached the podium almost the exact instant I sat down. There was a huge wave of applause. But when they saw the tiny little girl come up next to him, the applause faded into confused murmurs. Maho must have expected this. Her expression didn't change in the slightest as she stood next to the professor. In fact, when she took the microphone from the professor and looked around the theater, she looked like she belonged there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
First, Dr. Leskinen began to speak in English. When he made eye contact with Maho, she began to interpret.
Thank you for attending this seminar.
Everyone, thank you for coming to my seminar.
I am Alexis Leskinen.
My name is Alexis Leskinen, and I'm with Victor Kongroo University's Brain Science Institute.
Systems.
My specialty is brain signal processing systems and artificial intelligence theory. And I am his assistant, Maho Hiejo. I am also a researcher at the Institute, working under the professor. I'm glad to meet you all. The audience started murmuring again. That was the same way I responded when I met her. Well, that'll happen, yeah.
Now, without further ado,
I'd like to get right into it by introducing some of the cutting-edge research we're doing.
I know today's theme is revolution in
The topic we're discussing today is the artificial intelligence revolution, but I think the system we're going to demonstrate today goes beyond anything you've ever imagined. Dr. Leskinen stood in front of the laptop that had been placed on the podium and started to type.
This terminal here is connected to
This computer is linked to one of the supercomputers in our labs. Oh, don't turn on the projector just yet. One of the staffers was about to display the laptop screen on the front projector. Some kind of important program must have been booting up because Maho Hiejo stopped them.
Sorry, this is all.
Sorry, this stuff isn't complete yet. The screen's filled with programs that aren't very pretty to look at.
Honestly, I'm a
I'd rather let you see me naked than let you see these lousy programs.
Any engineers out there?
If there are any engineers in the audience today, would you know what you would know what I'm talking about, right? You like they have a non-fluent English speaker for Alexis? Yeah. I mean, they still tried. They still tried with what they had. I love the effort they still went to try. Some of the audience got the professor's joke and laughed.
Anyway, while this finishes,
While spooting up, I'll go over the basic idea of the system. There was another projector in the center of the stage. A diagram appeared on his screen. And at the top of the diagram was a Japanese translation for the general audience. An analysis of neural pulse signals relating to memories stored in the temporal lobe. Doesn't that sound familiar, Pika? I knew that title well. Bruce doing a great job, you can understand, it's just pretty obvious. Yeah. In fact, I was sure I could never forget it. It was the title of an essay written by a 17-year-old genius and published in Science. She had completely analyzed the nerve impulse patterns that govern human memory and used that to digitize the memories themselves into data. And she had used that to invent the time leap machine right in front of my eyes. Though, none of that had actually happened anymore.
we've actually been featured in a
This paper appeared in Science, so I'm sure some of you have seen it before.
the project.
Time leap! Yeah, you're right.
It was proposed by a very talented Japanese member of our team.
This theory was proposed and finalized by a brilliant Japanese member of our team.
Human memories are stored in the
Human memories are stored in the cerebral cortex, particularly the temporal lobe. They're a lot like flash memory.
the part of the temporal lobe that controls the
Part of the brain that reads and writes this flash memory is called the hippocampal gyrus. Dr. Leskinen pointed to the diagrams of the brain and hippocampus on the screen.
The brain works by transmitting electrical signals
The brain functions by sending electrical signals between cells called neurons.
What we call memories are just those.
Memories are actually just the transmission of these electrical signals, and it's the hippocampal gyrus that controls them.
In other words, electrical
In other words, memories are created by passing electrical signals in and out of the hippocampal gyrus.
that was a foundation for personalities.
So Kurisu Makise, the Japanese scientist who wrote this paper,
And excuse me, I mean, Ms. Makise,
Miss Makise came up with an idea.
You see here, electrical signals, signal patterns.
Electrical signals, signal patterns, the cerebral cortex. Maho started to have trouble with her interpreting. She was getting confused. No matter how good you were with languages, interpreting for a long period of time had to be difficult. I'd once read an article on the internet that said even a professional can't do it for more than 20 minutes. International conferences and live broadcasts from overseas were actually handled by a team of people switching off. Or maybe... was she having trouble because Kurisu's name came up? Dr. Leskinen saw she was having trouble and cut himself off. I'm sorry.
Miss Makise focused on the patterns entering in-
Miss Makise focused on the pattern of electrical signals going in and out of the hippocampal gyrus.
By analyzing those patterns,
By analyzing the pattern, she was able to get complete data on which memory in the cerebral cortex it corresponded to.
this data allows her to take the
This created the basic theory that lets us take the vague, analog thing we call memories and turn it into a digital combination of electrical signals.
Miss Makise published her research.
The result was her paper, which appeared in Science.
And now, based on her theory,
And right now, our team is using that theory to create a system to turn a person's memories into digital data. A wave of whispers swept across the theater.
in other words,
Which means
this system allows human memories to be stored.
we can store and access a human's memories on a computer. The whispers turned into a low roar. I see. So even after her death, Kurisu's research was being carried on. Of course, maybe it was natural that it would be. That was the basic theory for time leaping, which I had proved myself, even if I could never prove it to anyone else in the Alpha world line. My memories had been turned into data and stored on a computer. There's no doubt about that. And what Dr. Leskinen was talking about right now was the basic technology required for that process.
At present, we are attempting to apply this
There are two major projects we're working on right now. One uses the system for medical applications. The slide on the projector changed.
for this application. We've been collaborating with
This project is a joint effort with the Psychophysiology Lab.
by passing data from a computer to the
The idea is to use the hippocampal gyrus to put the memory stored on a computer back into the brain. Incredible! Thank you, Xander Mobus. Someone who looked like a grad student in the front row shouted. Dr. Leskinen didn't seem particularly put off by the interruption. Maho continued her interpretation.
You don't believe it? I know how you feel.
Incredible, huh?
And if
I can understand how you feel. I would feel the same way in your position.
But let me just ask you.
But we feel this research is making real progress. How wonderful would it be if we could make this work?
We could treat memory loss in
One example would be memory problems caused by aging or Alzheimer's. This would be a form of symptomatic therapy.
anyone's memories could be
We could automatically back up the patient's memories as data.
even if a memory is lost.
Even if the patient loses their memories, they could just go to their PC and reinstall them.
Store data in we could hold the progress of the new
We think this would be a way to stop memory loss.
can accomplish.
There's an interesting difference between the words he's saying and how she's translating them. Yes, localization. She's accurately translating what he's saying, but, you know, the localizers changed what she's saying in Japanese back into English, but in a way that's more, you know, natural.
Eventually, it would be possible to do
In the end, we hope to make memory data stored on your PC constantly accessible via the hippocampal gyrus.
so if the blame were to loss
This would mean that if brain functionality was lost, for example, if the brain was badly damaged or atrophied,
the system would essentially
brain functionality could still be maintained.
think of it like an external hard drive.
It'd be like a form of external storage. A strange feeling gripped the hall. Part of it was shock and the feeling that they were witnessing the announcement of an incredible technology. Part of it was skepticism that a system like this could ever actually work. Part of it was revulsion at the idea of playing around with a human brain like that. Understandable, though you're kind of surprised they don't just have the English script be literally what Alexis is saying. I mean, I suppose. But it would probably also be kind of... It would probably sound a little bit... There would be some peculiarities that, you know, that players would really notice as sounding unnatural. Because, you know, because, yeah, English isn't really a stranger to the series. Like the sentence, for instance, in the Jellyman reports, where it said error, human is dead, mismatch. That's clearly not. That was clearly that was clearly something that the original game developers translated, or like tried to create in English. I mean, the human is dead thing, you know, makes sense, and the error maybe, but mismatch, who knows? Anyway, an excitement born of all of these things passed from one member of the crowd to another. Dr. Leskinen raised his hand to encourage questioners.
I'm seeing some of you have questions.
Looks like I need to take questions before we move on to the next project. That's fair. If he's speaking more in English, that makes more sense, yeah.
I'll answer as many as I can. Go ahead.
I'll answer anything I can. Go ahead. Many hands were raised. I could tell that there was a wide age range of people interested. Both young and old were raising their hands. Dr. Leskinen pointed to a questioner. This was the first question. Sampling would be required when digitizing analog memories. Does that mean any information would be lost? The professor nodded as he listened to the question in Japanese and began to respond in English when the speaker finished. Maybe he was able to understand Japanese, if not speak it.
Let me replace that.
To put your question another way,
You're talking about attempting to...
you're saying that when you're saving a live recording of an orchestra as a WAV file, it's impossible to record everything.
That's certainly a concern.
That's a good question. And it's one of the biggest problems facing our research right now.
Right now. Now, if the intercerebral network...
If the network within the brain consisted simply of neurotransmitters turning on and off, that is, exchanging binary data, the problem would be simple.
After all, that's how...
That would be the exact same thing as a computer's digital data.
Unfortunately, intercerebral transmission...
But we know that neurotransmitters and electrical signals form an analog network within a brain.
So at present, the best solution is...
The only way we have to deal with this problem right now is to sample at a higher rate.
In musical teams, you could say...
To continue our music example, instead of sampling at 44.1 kilohertz, we'd sample at 48 kilohertz. Instead of 48 kilohertz, we'd use 96 kilohertz.
It's still digital data, of course.
This allows us to recreate something very close to the original analog data digitally. Little by little, the mood in the room was turning to disappointment. People were beginning to wonder if this was just a pretty theory that wouldn't work in reality. More questions came. All the questioners were skeptical of the professor's theory, and many of them seemed to be outright challenging him. I started to get upset. This was Dr. Leskinen's research, but it was also Kurisu's. I knew better than anyone that it worked, and the sight of so many people refusing to give it a chance infuriated me. Were these people really scientists? I tried to keep myself under control and looked back towards the podium. Was she mad? She certainly looked disappointed. Dr. Leskinen was very polite with the rude questioners, acknowledging the problems with the theory. She was very different. Her anger was starting to seep into her interpreting, too. I felt a kind of kinship with her. The question and answer session continued. From a medical standpoint, this is just reckless. It's absolutely impossible to rewrite digital data back into the brain. It's insane. I read the essay in science, and I have to say, I don't believe it. Especially since the lead author was a 17-year-old girl. That was the one thing I couldn't ignore. Listen! Objection! What? The two people on the stage and the entire audience all turned toward me at once. How do you know it won't work when you haven't even tried? The world's full of technologies that people never thought would work. But they exist now because people overcame those problems. Criticism alone doesn't help anything. The whole theater went silent. But I didn't regret standing up. You... On the stage, Maho Hyojo was staring at me in shock. And as for Dr. Leskinen, I saw a flash of white teeth as our eyes met.
Awesome.
Awesome. He's really something. He started to applaud. Why was he applauding? That just makes things embarrassing. Awesome. He's really something, the professor says. Maho translated the professor's words for me to hear.
Nonetheless, a scientist must always remain composed.
But a scientist must remain calm at all times.
The only time when it is possible.
The only time when you're allowed to yell is when your experiment succeeds and you say,
We did it!
"We did it!"
And that should be enough.
That's all you need, he says. I'm sorry. I lowered my head and sat down. I thought I was calm, but I guess I let my emotions get away from me. I hadn't grown up at all in the past 6 months. If Kurisu were here, she'd make fun of me again. I could feel the rest of the audience staring at me coldly. It hurt. If I could have left, I would have wanted to, but I was too interested in hearing the rest of Dr. Leskinen's talk to move.
And anyway, moving on.
Alright, everyone. Moving on.
Oh, first, a round of applause, please.
But first, how about a round of applause for our brave audience member? Oh no. Please no.
Men like him are what
Calendars like him are the ones who advance science and come up with the really amazing theories.
He may even become the third.
He may be capable of becoming the third Einstein.
The second Einstein, of course. would be my-
By the way, the second Einstein is my little assistant here. Stop messing around, Professor. The audience chuckled. Sheesh. Now then, I'm going to take a break from interpreting. The next interpreter is far better than I am. This is our second project, and the one we're putting most of our efforts toward. The Amadeus system. When she finished speaking, Maho walked to the back of the stage. By the way, Pika, did you know that Amadeus is a claimable waifu in the bot? And that I claimed her. Well, or it. Because, you know, Amadeus system. You know. They, them, it. I don't know. I don't know the Amadeus system's pronouns, man. But yes, it is a thing. At Dr. Leskinen's signal, the PC screen was displayed on the projector. And then I heard a voice. Nice to meet you, everyone. The murmuring got louder than before, but it felt more uncertain than surprised. On the screen, I could see a detailed 3D model of Maho, the girl who'd just been interpreting. By the way, this model was made by the famous DrinkWorks Studios! You've probably seen their movies. DrinkWorks! Speaking of which, I need a drink. My god, I love Shrek. I love shrimp. Hyojo chimed in from the back of the stage. The voice was done by a Japanese company, instead of Yamaha, using my voice samples. So yeah, this game started deep fakes before the only Amadeus you knew about was Mozart. You know, maybe that's the reference they're making. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. This was CG? It sure looked real to me. But yeah, so Steins Gate Zero did some of the artificial intelligence stuff that we're seeing today, scarily, in 2016. Which, I mean, I guess is really not that far off. I mean, I guess they were kind of doing it back then too, but... They made her a Vocaloid? Yes, Pika, yes they did. They made Miho a Vocaloid. The professor said something into the laptop's microphone. And then the 3D model of Maho Hyojo on the screen opened its mouth. I'm Maho Hyojo. To be precise, I'm a being based on the Maho Hyojo who existed 78 hours and 22 minutes ago. Yeah! They use a large language model based strictly on her memories! If you listen carefully, you might be able to hear something slightly off. But it sounded far more human than any artificial voice I'd ever heard. I've been listening to your questions. And I was wondering why the professor didn't introduce me earlier. I've thought for a while that the professor has a bit of a mean streak in him. You've got that right. The Maho Hyojo on the screen spoke with a slightly irritated expression. And the Maho Hyojo on the wall nodded in agreement. Dr. Leskinen simply smiled. What was going on here? What part of this was their biggest project? The rest of the audience didn't seem to have any more of a clue than I did. Many of you are wondering whether it's possible to extract a human's memories as data, save them, and use them. You're wondering if that's really something we can do. So I'll put this question to you. If not, what am I? I am based off data that was extracted from Maho Hyojo's brain 78 hours and 23 minutes ago. What did she just say? The professor said something else in rapid English and asked the Maho on the screen to translate it. But she, if she was the right word, hesitated and went silent. I looked at the real Maho and she was responding exactly the same way. Professor, is it alright if... Professor, is it alright if I report that sexual harassment to the university? Dr. Leskinen laughed cheerfully and responded to her. The conversation was in quick English, and over half the audience couldn't understand it. The real Maho sighed and took back the microphone. Well, the professor, he told this Amadeus system, which is based off of my memories, to answer a question. It was, stuff like, how old I was when I stopped taking baths with my dad. Or when did I first fall in love? He said any of those questions should be answerable. Oh, jeez. You don't have to translate anymore. Would you stop that? It's embarrassing. I'm not answering any questions like that. The professor said something else, and the Maho on the screen groaned and turned away. And I'm definitely not telling you my credit card number. And I don't even remember what kind of pajamas I was wearing a week ago. What was this? It was so natural I couldn't tell at first, but... this was something unbelievable, wasn't it? It felt very different than a typical AI. I could tell that much. It wasn't answering the questions. It wasn't answering the questions it was given? And because they were embarrassing at that? Was it programmed to respond like that to certain questions for the purposes of this demonstration? It was possible that's all it was, but if that conversation wasn't programmed in advance, the rest of the crowd seemed to reach the same conclusion I did, and the whispers started to turn to surprise. Listen, can you do something about this little troublemaker? You don't remember what pajamas you were wearing a week ago either, because you haven't worn pajamas in several years. Ha 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 ha! Good point, Paul. Same here. Also, how are you doing, Paul? I know what he's trying to do, but it's embarrassing. The copy of Maho is complaining to the original. It felt like I was watching a pair of twin sisters talking. Well, since the little troublemaker, that is, Dr. Leskinen, is having too much fun to explain what's going on here, I will. Maho walked back to the professor. I think everyone's already figured this out, but Amadeus is deciding on its own what it can and can't talk about, and what it does and doesn't want to talk about. You remember your pajamas over Rico, because your only pajamas are your Pikachu pants. Yeah, let's go, Pika! We haven't programmed any of this into her at all. We knew it. As Maho finished up, Dr. Leskinen took the microphone back. She resumed interpreting as he continued the lecture.
However, what really surprised us.
Another thing that surprised us is that Amadeus is capable of deliberate lies. I mean, today we would just call those hallucinations, but, you know. By deliberate, I mean it lies of its own free will, not as the result of any programming error. Lies are one method that humans use to communicate with one another. And just like a human, Amadeus can use its memories to decide if lying would be best. If so, it will lie without hesitation. Don't tell them that, Professor. I can't lie without hesitation. I have a conscience, you know.
I'm so sorry, and
I'm so sorry. And Dr. Leskinen cut off. He seemed to be hesitating. Maho didn't seem especially surprised by this. Maybe she knew the reason. But the moment passed and the professor continued. And Maho translated his words like there was nothing shocking about them at all.
this has led us to some interesting conclusions.
As we continue our research, we eventually believe that
For one, we believe it's possible for Amadeus to
it may be possible to give Amadeus a soul, just like living humans. I was stunned. A soul? Should one of the leading brain scientists in the world really be using a word with such a vague definition?
In other words, true artificial intelligence.
This would mean the creation of artificial intelligence, in the true sense. The whole hall got very quiet. And it was sheer chaos for a while after that, as everyone tried to debate their own personal theories with Dr. Leskinen at once. Didn't Uchikoshi say that this game inspired 999, or are you thinking of something else? I think you're thinking of something else. Because 999 came out before Steins Gate was a thing, I think. I'm pretty sure. Or was it, actually? I'm actually not sure. But I don't think the timelines matched up there. It was thanks to Izuki that I was able to get into the reception held up after the ATF was over. They told me there was a dress code, so I went all the way back to my parents' house to get a suit to change into. At first, all that effort paid off, as Izuki introduced me to some of the country's top researchers. Riken, JAXA, IMSS, etc. But before long, Izuki ran off to suck up to some university professor, and I was left completely abandoned. Okay, now that the lecture is over, you're gonna head to sleep? Alright, sounds good, Pika. And of course, yeah, I'll make sure that you get the VOD so you can see the rest of it. But sleep well, Pika. Enjoy your sleep. Thank you for stopping by. Oh yeah, also, there's a phone thing. Oh hey, Daru sent me something. Apparently, this is a group chat. I can't believe you get to go to a fancy party. Die in a fire, Mr. Fancy Pants. You could have helped too, you know. Oh, wait, okay, I can just go left or right here. Oh, the food here looks so good. There's nobody to talk to when I'm bored. I'm just gonna brag to him. All the food here looks so good. Bring me back a doggy bag. Hell no, I can't do that. You can do what you set your mind to. There is no limit but the vast blue sky. I can come get it right now if you want me to. Are you that hungry? Fine, okay, I'll get you something. But I refuse. Ah! Is that a sticker of Suzuha? How did he get that? Don't do that. Okay. Okay, but before long, Izuki ran off to suck up to some university professor, and I was left completely abandoned. Did I finally get all the endings in 100 line? Yes, I did. After like 300 hours, yes, I did. Do I have an opinion as to which ending is the true one? Well, technically they're all written as if they're the true one. Apparently, according to the devs, but... I mean, I'm a sucker for study fundamental, but I mean, I'm also a sucker for killing game. Even though that is definitely far from an ideal timeline, but it's you know, it's one that I love a lot. Anyway, my own personal target, Dr. Leskinen, was surrounded by a bunch of famous scientists. It didn't feel like a mere student would be welcome. And so all I did was stand around and eat from the buffet by the wall. To be honest, I couldn't tell if the food was any good or not. Whenever my glass got empty, a smiling raider was always around to fill it up again, and so I found myself drinking more than I intended. My stomach is already so full it hurt. The whole place felt like it was another world. I'm really not cut out for this. At the exact moment I spoke, I heard a girl next to me say the exact same thing. Surprised, I looked over at her. Our eyes met. Oh, you. What was a middle school girl doing here? And then a moment later, I realized it was Maho Hyajo. She was wearing the exact same outfit she'd been wearing during the lecture. A lab coat in a place like this? That's just what the old me would have done. Your personal pick for the true ending is Steady Fundamental because it closes the time loop and contextualizes the other timelines in typical Uchikoshi fashion. Yes, but yeah, I do. That's part of the reason why. That's why Steady Fundamental is. That's why I'm leaning towards. But you heard that the second scenario was also canon by some folks. Yeah, I mean, it's an Uchikoshi game though, so technically all of them are canon, right? Except maybe whatever the heck goes on in the comedy route. But that said, the comedy route is still a riot. Let me see. Maho is clearly out of place. Why? Because she was still wearing her lab. Why? Because she was still wearing her lab coat. Why are you wearing a lab coat? I couldn't help but ask. I was sure I'd brought some real clothes. She was sure she had, but she hadn't. And that's why she was standing in the corner, trying not to attract attention. You're the guy who was at the desk this afternoon. I'm Rintarou Okabe. I'm a student at Tokyo Denki University in Professor Izuki's class. I handed her one of the business cards that I'd thrown together after Izuki told me I needed them. She grabbed one of her own out of a stack and carelessly put it in my hands. It's fine. How to be so polite. Your least hero was the cult. Oh, the cult route. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that one is. That one is. I mean, I think that's a good route for what it is. It is it is definitely horrifying, and they definitely wanted you to make sure you knew that it was horrifying. My least favorite, probably the Boxes of Blessings 1, 2, and 3, or no, more like 2, 3, and 4. 1 is okay, but 2, 3, and 4. Nah, man. It's like a lot of the same stuff as in 1. Anyway. That was a huge help. My name's pretty rare, isn't it? My name's pretty rare, isn't it? Oh yeah, you said nobody could read it? I looked at the card and saw that the pronunciation of her name was written in unusually large letters. That was probably because of how people kept screwing it up. It's a common name in Okinawa, though. You're from Okinawa? My great-grandmother and her great-grandfather were immigrants. I was born and raised in America. No, you don't look half Japanese. Quarter Japanese? Nope. My grandpa, grandma, mom, and dad were all Japanese. My DNA is purely Japanese. Huh. From what you heard, it was so bad they had to censor it. They had to censor it. They did! Well, they censored some CGs on Switch, yes. Which, honestly, probably for the best. Honestly. Probably for the best. If she was born and raised in America, why isn't she speaking in English? Because they're in Japan, not in the US. So, and she's talking to a Japanese guy, so yeah, who doesn't understand English a lot. So yeah, so yeah, of course she wouldn't be speaking in English. And then the conversation stopped. I'm a terrible conversationalist, honestly. The old me would have gone full Chunibyo and started ranting about conspiracies and magic powers, whether the other person cared or not, but you can't really call that a conversation. I had no idea what to say to somebody I've never met before. I've been working at becoming a real adult, even buying and studying men's magazines, but none of it really helped. Without anything to talk about, I looked over to Dr. Leskinen. He seemed to be giving a lecture on neurons to a bunch of scientists. I'm sorry about today. Huh? Sorry for what? Oh, for interrupting your lecture. Oh, that. Don't worry about it. If you hadn't spoken up, I probably would have. I can't stand people like that. You sure that would have been a good idea? You're what the professor said. Scientists should remain calm at all times. I'm not speaking as a scientist right now, so it's fine. I must have really ticked her off, because she grabbed a cocktail from a passing waiter and gulped it down. Her cheeks turned a pretty shade of pink for an instant, but no longer. She might have had a high school tolerance. Or she might have had a high alcohol tolerance. Not a high school tolerance, what am I saying? But you're right, really. Sorry. Criticisms like that, they aren't very nice, but they're true. A lot of our research still has a long way to go. Really? There are a lot of problems we still have to deal with. More than we discussed at the lecture. Here's an example. You can write memory data back into the brain, but if the brain can't use it, then it's useless. The memories are there, but you can't get to them. It's basically the same as amnesia. As Maho spoke, I remembered. I remembered all the lectures and theories that Kurisu had given me when she was making the time leap machine. If I remember right, when people try to access their memories, the signal goes from the frontal lobe to the temporal lobe, right? Yep. Top-down memory search signals. So then... And then I started to talk, remembering what Kurisu had told me about her theories as I went. When I used specialized terminology whose meanings I barely remembered, Maho would tell me what they were. And so finally, in the process of writing these memories back to the temporal lobes, if you send the pseudo-pulse you copied along with them to the front lobes, the memory search signal will function properly. I think. Did you figure that out for yourself? What? No. Maho looked back at the business card I'd given her. Your major is in brain science. So someone told you this? Or did you read it in a paper? No, that's impossible. She wouldn't have put it into paper yet. Did I say something wrong? No, that's not it. One of the researchers at the lab said the exact same thing. None of the other staff believed her, but she said she was sure she could prove it. In the end, she left us before she got to the test stage. That's... Should I tell her? Should I tell her about me and Kurisu? In this world line, there's almost no connection between me and Kurisu. What is it? I made up my mind. If I wanted to follow my dreams, I needed to act. Actually, it was Kurisu who told me about this theory. What? What did you just say? Kurisu Makase told me about it. Kurisu told you? When? Why? When she was over here as an exchange student, we became friends and she talked to me about the stuff. Of course, that was a lie. Kurisu and I became friends in the Alpha World line, not this one. But a small lie like this was probably okay. See. So Kurisu. Thank you. I mean it. Her words surprised me. That was the one thing I didn't expect to hear. For what? For being her friend. She came to Japan all alone. I mean, I'm sure she would have been bored studying all by herself. All we ever did was fight, though. That sounds like her. She never gave in, did she? Never. She'd argue for hours. She'd tell me all the time about she was going to give me a lobotomy and rip out my frontal lobe. What? She wouldn't. I could see Kurisu saying that. Right? You need to discipline your researchers better. I'll admit that much. Sorry. She smiled, or so I thought, and then all of a sudden she started to cry. What's wrong? I didn't have any better ideas, so I grabbed my handkerchief. Huh? She didn't seem to know why she was crying herself. And neither did I. I said something during the conversation that set her off? Are you okay? I'm fine. Sorry. She didn't take my handkerchief. Instead, she took a tissue out of her pocket and wiped her eyes. My brave third Einstein! What? I turned around and saw Dr. Leskinen smiling and striding towards me. He grabbed my hands as he got closer. The handshake was incredibly forceful. And his hands were as big as a bear's paws. No, not just his hands. Standing in front of me, he looked even bigger than he had during the lecture. I'm pretty tall, but he was at least a head taller than me. Professor, It was all so sudden I couldn't even think of an introduction. Wait, did he just speak in Japanese? Still, I don't approve of you making my assistant cry. No, this is... no, Professor! It wasn't his fault! He had nothing to do with it! Maho and I both denied it as much as we could. But I didn't know why Maho was crying, so I couldn't come up with any excuses. I just started to panic even more. So, basically, Kurisu. I was talking with him about Kurisu, and I just started crying. Kurisu? You're a friend of Kurisu's? Yes. This is Rintarou Okabe. He's a student. Maho introduced me. Dr. Leskinen had a gentle expression on his face as he gave me a slow hug. What? And not the Amadeus kind either. I felt like I was going to suffocate in his massive arms. Somehow I could tell that it was his way of remembering Kurisu. See, if that's the case, then Maho. Yeah? Why not introduce her to Mr. Okabe? You can't mean Amadeus. It was good luck that brought him to us here, wasn't it? While we're in Japan, you can have him be a tester. Are you serious? You can't just let an outsider... If he's a friend of Kurisu's, he's no outsider, correct? But, sir... What were they talking about? I had no idea, but this was my chance to build a relationship with Dr. Leskinen. I didn't want to blow it. I'd love to help.
Nice.
Nice! He patted me on the shoulders and smiled. It was an innocent smile, like a child's. Okay then, ask Maho for the details. Thanks. Another scientist was calling him, so he wandered away. Maho was shaking her head in disbelief. What's he talking about? Beating Amadeus? Being a tester? The demonstration on Amadeus we did during the convention used my memories, but... Amadeus also has another researcher's memory saved as data. Another researcher's memories? What did that mean? When I finally figured it out from Dr. Leskinen and Maho's conversation, my heart started pounding. You can't mean... Her? Yeah. Kurisu Makise's memories are stored in Amadeus. They're 8 months old, though. Oh boy! Get some more toilet paper! Several days passed after the ATF party. 10 minutes from Ikebukuro via the express train. And then 10 minutes by bus from a station called Wako City in Saitama. The office I was looking for was on the second floor of a building right next to Riken. Global Brain Science Comprehensive Research Organization, Japanese office preference. That was what the plate on the door said. To get in, you need 3 types of special keys, plus a security card. What is this place? The plan is for brain scientists from all around the world to work together to make a new organization. Our lab is leading the way. She led me inside. The office must have been newly rented. Most of the desks were still empty, showing no signs of ever having been used. Oh, and also, got something in line. Hey, it's Ferris! The mysterious Suketos have at last appeared in Akihabara! What? You haven't heard the ancient urban legends of Akihabara? I know about a few of them, but the Suketos are new to me. If a group of 3 people sits in a backseat of a certain maid cafe, they appear! Or so they say! No one ever knew which maid cafe it was. Until now! It's May Queen. Is everything okay? Everything's fine! They just join your game in the middle of a raid and kill steal all the mobs. Hang on a second. And she doesn't answer. She doesn't explain. There wasn't even a whiteboard, which made the room look even more empty. There wasn't a lot of natural light. Maybe the windows were on the north side? The only illumination was from the overhead fluorescent lights. The room felt very cold. This is just the prep room. No one was sitting at any of the desks, but 2 of them had stuff on them. One of them was a mess, filled with notes, calculators, coffee cups, and supplement bottles. That was the one Maho sat down at. Which meant the one that was neatly organized must belong to Dr. Leskinen, right? Where's the professor? Off today. Well, it was Sunday. Are you off today too? Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to sleep past noon. That's true. When I gone to pick her up from her hotel in Wako City, she'd come out of the room half asleep. This was the day that I was to meet Amadeus Kurisu. Maho had gone over the basics of being a tester on the way here. Essentially, Amadeus needed sample data for conversations, and they were going to give me an environment where I could talk to it at any time, 24 hours a day. She didn't give me any details beyond that, though. So I'll be able to talk to Amadeus Kurisu 24 hours a day, huh? Is Kurisu's Amadeus here? Yeah. Maho nodded and gave me a glance. You just said she, didn't you? Yeah. You two are a lot closer than I thought, weren't you? Maybe my silence was an answer in itself. Maho's response was uncharacteristically hesitant. All right, who won't shut up? Oh, hey, it's Lukiko. Okay, may I have a moment of your time? Is it important? No, it's not that important. Can it wait then? All right, I'll contact you later. Sorry. No, please don't worry about it. Hehehe. Thank you, Lukiko. Then maybe you shouldn't meet her after all. Why? The closer you are to someone, the crueler that system is. I'm okay. Fine. I won't bring it up again. But just remember one thing. The memories are from March, the last time Kurisu did an update. So anything you say about what happened after March, for example, when she was in Japan, she won't remember. That's right, isn't it? And the professor and I have run her program a lot of times between March and today. Each time, Amadeus Kurisu has treated memories the original never had. Stories we've told her, information she's found on the internet, new people she's talked to, things like that. In other words, what you're about to meet isn't Kurisu Makise, your friend. It's one of the problems with the system. It causes a lot of confusion with the people on this side. I mean, us humans. Because you'll think you're talking to the real Kurisu. In other words, Amadeus passes the Turing test. So don't get reality and fantasy mixed up, I guess. Our brains have trouble keeping up with the fact that our memories aren't shared with them. Memories that aren't shared. Now there's a feeling I knew well. Reading Steiner. It was a power only I possessed, which made my memories different than those of the people around me. Take me to her. Maho gave me a slight nod. This way. She led me to the back of the room. There was a booth, separated by a thick partition. To get inside the booth, you needed a different card key than the one used to get into the room, as well as a security code. They're pretty strict about security. Industrial spies are our biggest threat these days. She entered the security code and unlocked the door. Go inside. The room was about 2.5 meters per side. At one end was a white desk, and above it was a PC with a built-in 30-inch screen monitor. Sit just behind me. There was a small sofa that let you sit behind the user and see what was happening on the screen. I sat there. Maho powered on the PC and began to type. A second later, the words Amadeus System appeared on screen. I saw her put the ID in. Salieri. Salieri? Salieri and Amadeus, huh? Was there some meaning to that? Don't think of it. In the famous movie Amadeus, there was a character who was spiteful and jealous of Mozart's incredible talents, but who, in the bottom of his heart, admired him more than anyone else. That character's name was Salieri. Don't look at the password. Maho moved her body to hide her hands. I looked away. She finished logging into the system, and a simple bare command prompt appeared on screen. Are you ready? Yeah. Do it. Maho entered several commands at the prompt. Sorry, I can't show you this. Well, I wouldn't be able to make any sense of it. Still, you know how it is. She turned off the monitor. Then she spun around to face me. I suddenly realized I was clenching my fists. How long had I been doing that? My hands were sweaty and there was a red spot at the base of my thumb where my nails had dug. Was I more nervous than I realized? What is it? Oh. I'm starting to get a little scared. There's still time. You can just leave now. You're pretty mean. Really? I'm worried about you. Don't act like it. Seriously. You, Kurisu, you bad girls. For a second, the old joking me was about to come back. I quickly changed the subject. People who spend all their time doing experiments would be so rude. That's a clear case of slander. I can sue you for defamation if I want. Stop. You're scaring me. I know a good lawyer. Want me to introduce you? How about you stop suing me first? If you want to talk about settlement, you're going to need a lot of cash. I'll buy you a Dr. Key. You're so cheap. I heard a small sound from the back of the throat. I guess she was laughing. Normally I'd find that irritating. Strangely, coming from the girl in front of me... No, she was a grown woman, actually. I didn't. Mapu Hyojo is very strong-willed, with prickliness and short temper unique to scientists. She always seemed to be a little upset about something. But maybe she wasn't that bad. Oh, I see. She... Maho. She's a lot like Kurisu. When I first met Kurisu, she was like that. Arrogant, rude, never willing to change her mind, stubborn, hard-headed, and always ready to confront you with raised eyebrows whenever you said something she didn't like. I truly thought I'd never seen a more unlikable woman. But despite my first impression, on the inside she turned out to be fragile, easily hurt, and so kind and so lovable. What's so funny, Maho? I suddenly heard a girl's voice from the speaker. I found myself jumping off the sofa. I knew this voice. I couldn't forget it. I could never. Maho turned on the monitor. The girl I'd never forgotten appeared on the screen. Maybe it was based off her appearance at the brain science lab. Because she was wearing a white lab coat. The PC's camera turned toward me on its own. Who's this? Maho was introducing me. But I didn't hear anything she was saying. I simply stared, entranced. I wanted to reach out my hands. I wanted to touch her. She was right there. Nice to meet you, Rintarou Okabe. I'm Kurisu Makise. I look forward to working with you. And... start opening sequence! Steins Gate 0. That's what it says. Also pretty neato. Pretty neat opening sequence here. Steins Gate has chosen. Closed epigraph.
さあ岡部さん
All right, so I'm just going to save over this. And yeah, there we go. All right, so basically, chapter 2. All right, Mr. Okabe, try to relax. My voice is a bridge guiding you down into the past. You're going down and down and down, and then you see a gentle colored light. I was dreaming. Daydreaming. I was aware that I was lying on a big sofa undergoing counseling. I tried my best to stay calm and imagine what the psychologist was telling me. What color is the light? Red. Red. I see. The person you care about is standing in the light. Are they your family? No. Then your friend? Or lover, perhaps? Lover. No, not my lover. Not even my friend. Then what are they? She and I are... Memories came flooding back into my mind like a geyser. Could you come with me for a moment? Mayuri Sheena is not needed. Tell me. I know you use the time leap machine. Save Mayuri. Go to the Beta World line, the world where Mayuri doesn't die. Not just for your sake, but for mine as well. You remember me? Am I going to die? I don't want to die. I'm not even gonna... I'll let him do it. Mr. Okabe! I killed her! It was me! It was me! Listen to me. I'm going to pat you on the shoulders. When I do, you will be fully awake. 3, 2, 1, now! There was a loud sound, then I felt an impact on my shoulders. Kurisu's suffering face disappeared instantly, and I could feel my consciousness awakening. I stood up off the sofa. I felt dizzy and almost fell over. Are you alright? Rest a minute. I'll bring you a towel right now. The psychologist left the room. I realized I was soaked in sweat. The air conditioner was working, so I could tell it wasn't from heat. It was the first time I tried hypnotherapy at a mental health clinic. My body felt strangely heavy. When I got outside, it was night. It was almost December and the wind was cold. How was it, Okarine? Mayuri Shina asked me gently. Mayuri was a high school student and my childhood friend. She'd come with me to counseling today. I told her I didn't need her to, but she'd left school early to come. All I ever did was make her worry. Around 3 months ago, my one obsession had been saving her. To me, she had always been someone I had to protect. And now, she was worried about me. It was only because of Mayuri's recommendation that I tried counseling. Alright, who's interrupting? Oh hey, best girl! Got a sec, Uncle Okarine? Okay, da. It's okay. Listen, what do you think I should do about Mom and Dad? What do you mean? I just can't see them getting together like this. Well, you're right. Uncle Okarine, is there anything you can do? You know there's nothing I can do to help with that. You're right. Yeah. It hurts that you just gave up that easily. It doesn't seem to be your kind of thing, Uncle. Not that bad, I said. I told her a small lie to make her feel better. Actually, they told me I'd suffered serious trauma. They'd stopped the hypnotherapy and given me a course of counseling and drugs. Now they wanted to wait to see the results. Basically, they decided there was nothing to do but to treat my symptoms and wait for it to heal naturally. I couldn't tell if what Maho showed me yesterday was having an effect. I underwent treatment without telling the psychologist about the time machine or the world lines or most of the things that had happened, so maybe there was no way for them to make a proper diagnosis. In any event, I decided to not think too much about the results. Hey, Mayuri. You haven't eaten any yet, right? Wanna go get some food? I'll treat you. Oh, can we go to Akihabara then? Luca and Ferris say they haven't seen you in forever and they want to meet up. Akihabara, huh? The clinic was in walking distance of my house. Akihabara was much farther away. But even so, I couldn't turn down Mayuri's request. Until the events of this summer, I'd gone there almost every day. In fact, I'd practically lived there. Lately, I only went 3 times a week at the absolute most. And then only to go shopping on the way home from school. We went out into the plaza in front of the station. Just like in Ikebukuro, even though it was only a month until Christmas, there were barely any decorations. I was sure the whole place would be covered in them when it was December 1st. Eventually, I was sure to see maids in Santa outfits. Maids in Santa outfits. Passing out flyers on Akihabara, huh? Akihabara could be really weird. Oh, it's Ferris and Luca! Doo-doo-doo! Kyoma! Okabe! Mayuri! Ferris and Luca must have been waiting. They ran over as soon as they saw us. I missed you! Ferris Nyan Nyan jumped at me without the slightest hesitation. She was a maid, and Ferris wasn't her real name. I knew her real name, but if I didn't call her Ferris at all times, even when she wasn't working, she'd get mad at me. She was wearing the same outfit she always wore, her work clothes from her job at the maid cafe May Queen Yan Squared. Was Maid Queen going to switch to Santa outfit soon? Stop it! Everybody's looking at us! I tried to pull Ferris off me, but it wasn't working. Maybe I should just steal the cat ears off her head. Who cares? All that matters right now is Ferris and Kyoma. I care. And stop calling me Kyoma! Yeah? Why? I've consigned that name to my dark past. Yeah. Ferris looked upset, but I decided to ignore her. Owing Kyoma was part of a past I'd sealed away. I decided to pretend he never existed. He had meddled with the forbidden invention called the Time Machine, and as a result, the systems that ruled the world had punished him. He dashed the hopes of many, lost the life of someone he cared for, and his heart had suffered grievous wounds. He must never be awakened again. I didn't need him anymore. And what should I call you? Well, Okabe or something. I think Gokurin's a cute name. Don't you, Ferris? By the way, Ferris is what Mayuri calls Ferris. She claimed it was easier to pronounce or something like that. Well, if you say so, Mayushi. This doesn't sound right, though. She looked unsatisfied, but she backed away. Lukako, it's been a while. Yeah. Lukako smiled happily. He always looks as beautiful as a pretty girl. But he's a guy. He was a classmate of Mayuri's and could often be seen helping at the Yanabayashi shrine where his family lived. I probably shouldn't call him Lukako. Just like I told Ferris not to call me Kyoma. He had his own name, Luka Urashibara. But calling Lukako Luka after all this time, that would be really embarrassing. Feels like a really long time. I sometimes go to the lab, but you haven't been there much, have you? No, I haven't. I've been busy with school. Had to get ready for ATF too. Even after that was done, I'd been busy with Maho and Dr. Leskinen, and then Amadeus. I hadn't had a chance to rest. But I avoided mentioning that to them. Oh, and I'm in a club now. You joined a club? What kind of club? UFOs? UMAs? Who do you guys think I am? I guess I hadn't told them then. Mayuri. Pretty sure I told her. As the two of them looked at me with wide eyes, I cracked a knowing smile and puffed out my chest. The tennis club. What? The people around us all turned to stare at Ferris and Luca. We're in a tennis club! Okabe, have you ever played tennis? Of course not. I may not look it, but I'm terrible at sports. I'm confident I'd lose to Mayuri at a distance running. And why? Well, it's a long story, but... The associate professor who's my teacher at school is the tennis club's advisor, and they asked me to join. That's not long at all! Well, I'm not done yet. That teacher's done a lot for me, so I decided to stop by. And it turns out I have a talent for tennis. Despite the fact that I'm a beginner, I bite every single one of them. Well, amazing, huh? You really are amazing, Okabe. If I had known, I would have been a pro tennis player. You could win Wimbledon. What's wrong, Ferris? Do you have a headache? I'm not even sure where to begin. That's the most obvious ploy to get new members that I've ever heard. Don't say that. I had kind of noticed, but I'm trying to avoid thinking about it. But they're all really good people. So you've been busy practicing with your club then? Oh no, actually I barely go. Huh? Then just what are you doing? Matchmaking parties and stuff. What? Their shouts filled the whole street, and once again, people turned around to stare. It's not that surprising, is it? I'm a normal college kid. That's true. I'm sorry. But Luca was fidgeting like you wanted to say something. How can you go after other women when you've got your beautiful Ferris? It's unforgivable. Don't get the wrong idea, okay? I'm not really interested in girls. In fact, I went along with the rest of the club, but there really wasn't any place for a wannabe normal like myself. There was no way I could keep up with the conversations that the, well, normals had. While the other men and women were having fun, I would just kind of sit there. A matchmaking party was a challenge far beyond my capabilities. I was going to tell Ferris and Luca that, though. That's so nice. Mayushi wants to go to a matchmaking party with Okarin, too. What? Why do you want to do what? Is she old enough to be interested in that sort of thing? Because that's when everybody gets together and has a fun party, right? Evidently not. Well, it's not wrong, but the nuance is a little different. You can hold at the lab. Of course, Luca and Ferris will come. Oh, and Daru and Naya and Suzu. Oh. Mayuri turned to me with a guilty look. Suzu, huh? Suzuha Amane. Also known as John Titor. A time traveler from the year 2036. A true warrior who was still fighting even as I was trying my best to give up. I'd barely seen her since summer. I was avoiding her. Part of the reason I stopped going to the lab was that she spent a lot of time there now. Until a month or so ago, just hearing Suzuha's name was enough to cause flashbacks, and it was all I could do to endure them. After 3 months, I could finally stand to hear her name. But I didn't think I could keep it together if I met her in person. Of course, it wasn't her fault, and I wasn't blaming her. So I didn't want her to blame me. She'd never come out and say it, but when she'd look at me with that razor-sharp glint in her eyes, I felt something like guilt. Everyone? Mayushi's been planning an operation with Daru. An operation? It sounded like something the old me would have done. Yeah? What kind of operation? Operation Make Suzu Smile! Why was Mayuri talking about this out of the blue? No, maybe it wasn't out of the blue. She might have been thinking about it for a long time. So I decided to respond as cheerfully as I could. Tell me about it, Mayuri. Oh. Okay. So Mayushi thinks that Suzu's normally kind of scary, but she's actually a really nice person. Sometimes when I'm in the lab, I'll start to fall asleep on the sofa, and when I wake up, there'll be a blanket over me. When I asked Suzu about it, she says she has no idea, but... Oh, I had a similar experience. My dad once asked me to go to shopping for him, and I was having trouble on the way back because I had to carry so much. And then Amane came by, and without saying anything, she took some of the bags from me and carried them. Huh. I had no idea. She said that it wasn't a big deal, so I shouldn't tell anybody. I guess I just did. I see. In the Alpha World line, she was a cheerful girl who smiled at everyone and loved to go mountain biking. By the way, the CG is from one of the endings. Pika in the future! This statement is for you. This was specifically. This is specifically from the ending where Rintarou refused to, or like basically, well, not refuse. He basically kept leaping back like a few days prior to relive like the same days over and over again, so that she wouldn't go back in time and kill herself. But in this world line, she wasn't the type who smiled a lot. This was partially due to the way she'd grown up. I'd heard about it third hand from Daru, but because of the Universal Conscription program that started after World War III broke out, she'd been forced to undergo military training ever since she was in middle school. And after that, she joined up with the anti-government forces and gotten caught in a terrible struggle. After that, he said, she'd never really smiled. So I want Suzu to really smile. I see. So what's your plan? A Christmas party! A Christmas party? We all spoke in unison. It's almost Christmas, right? And Suzu says she's never been to a Christmas party. So Mayushi wants to give her one as a present. But Ferris and Luca nodded at almost at the exact same time. I'm in! Me too. Thanks. Ocarine, will you come too? Well, you don't want to? It's not that, it's just... I don't think Suzu would really want me there, do you? I was never going back to the past. I still couldn't forget the look on Suzu's face when I told her that. It was an expression filled with anger and despair. She must have felt like her last, most desperate hope was crumbling away right in front of her eyes. The words she said to me then were still sharp thorns lodged in my heart. Suzuha doesn't like me, you know. She doesn't think so. I think she probably regrets the fact that she got mad at you. I think she just can't say it. Really? Yeah, I'm sure of it. I couldn't turn her down after Mayuri said that. Fine. I'll think about it. Okay. By the way, Okabe. There was a bit of hesitation in Luca's voice. How did the doctor's appointment go? Evidently, Luca had heard about my counseling from Mayuri. Maybe he'd want to see me because he was worried about how it went. I guess I'm making Luca and Ferris worry too. In this world line, they hadn't joined the lab, but even so, they were still dear friends. I never tried hypnotherapy before. It was interesting. I never thought it would work on me, so that was a big surprise. It worked? Perfectly. I bet Luca wouldn't last a second. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm sure. Luca would believe anything you told him. Anyway, there was no point in standing around forever. I was getting hungry, and it was time to find someplace to eat. Hey guys, what do you want to eat? My treat. We decided to head towards Yodobashi. There were a lot of restaurants there, so it was perfect. Way to go, Kyoma! I mean, Okarine! You're the best! Thank you. What should I eat? Maybe fried chicken? Oh boy! Mayuri loves her, still loves her fried chicken! Juicy fried chicken? That's all Mayushi ever eats. I walked behind the three of them, and I thought to myself, What would it be like if Kurisu were here? I tried my hardest for the past few months to not think about her, but was it because of my experience yesterday that I did anyway? The expressions and little mannerisms I'd seen yesterday. The voice, the way she walked. I remembered my conversation with her. Hello, Rintarou Okabe. I'm Kurisu Makise. Nice to meet you. I couldn't respond at all. Something felt slightly off about the way Kurisu moved on the screen. But it was really slight. I'd get used to it soon. More importantly, the voice and the way she spoke were exactly like the real Kurisu. I almost cried, and it was all I could do to stop from breaking down. Maho, it's not the middle of the night, is it? Camera on the PC switched for me to Maho. No, it isn't. Why? I was wondering if the two of you were sleepy. Was she talking about the fact that I didn't respond to her introduction? I was asleep until just a bit ago, but now I'm 100% awake. I see you're as lazy as ever, huh? Don't be rude. Anyway, can I ask a question? Sure, what's up? What's your relationship to Rintarou Okabe? He's a student who participated in the last ATF seminar. He seemed really interested in the research, so I brought him here. Maho decided not to tell Amadeus that I was a friend of Kurisu before she died. Why, I wonder? Did she not want Amadeus to find out? Or was I supposed to tell her myself? Huh. You must be pretty impressive if you're saying that. Kurisu on the screen turned to me and smiled. Calm down. So, Okabe, what's your major? Brain science, I assume? It's... The words got stuck in my throat. I said calm down! No, this is just a program. Her words, her appearance, even the conversations he's having with you right now, they're all artificial. But even though I knew that, I still couldn't speak. I had no idea what to say. And more than that, the words nice to meet you hit me harder than I thought they would. This wasn't the Kurisu I spent those 3 weeks with. Maho had told me this ahead of time, and I thought I understood it, but hearing it for myself hurt more than I imagined. I regretted not taking my anxiety meds, but it was too late now. My heart rate soared and my breathing became irregular. My head was spinning and the corners of my vision were beginning to dim. At some point, my lips had gone totally dry. Is something wrong, Okabe? Kurisu sounded worried. That voice software must be pretty good if it could handle nuances like that. His major isn't brain science. But he's very interested in our research. Is he? Dr. Leskinen likes him too. At some point, I plan on making my assistant. What? My head snapped up in surprise at Maho's bizarre statement. Me? Maho's assistant? Would I go to Victor Kondria University? Oh? You don't like the idea? It's not whether I like it or not. Well, it was a joke anyway. A joke? Did you take it seriously? Did not. I wasn't going to tell her that I almost did. I see. But if you study really hard, it might not be a joke after all. Even if it wasn't, I'd rather be Dr. Leskinen's assistant. This was my way of getting back at her. It's hard to be his assistant than you might think. He's really a big kid. As she spoke, she quietly came over next to me and tapped me on the arm of the temples. I see. So that was it. She was making a joke to try and calm me down. Sorry. Thank you. What are you talking about? I didn't think subtlety was her thing. Maybe I was wrong? Maho? Excuse me. Kurisu beckoned to Maho from within the screen in a very human manner. What is it? Come a little closer, towards the speaker. Maho moved her ear closer to the speaker. I was just thinking about how weird it was when... Huh? Maho suddenly turned bright red and shouted at the screen. Of course not! What are you talking about? You don't need to be so embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed! Just stop being weird! You sure? I'm sure! What are you talking about? It was obvious that Kurisu had whispered something to Maho. What did she say? Maho glanced at it. And for some reason, she blushed and turned away. Ah, I see. From the way Maho was acting and what I knew about Kurisu, there was only one possibility. God damn mainstream women. I whispered a name I'd often tease Kurisu with and suddenly felt a lot better. She must have said something stupid like, "You two make a good couple," or "You finally found a man, huh?" The way she looked at a boy and girl holding a friendly conversation and immediately assumed they were dating was just like the Kurisu I knew. Sheesh, what a system. It didn't need to be that true to her personality, did it? I chuckled. Do you think this Kurisu also browses @channel when Maho and the professor aren't looking too? Nah, knowing her, she's probably commenting. I remember Kurisu once browsed @channel on the Future Gadget Laboratory's computer when she knew nobody was around. Hey! Knock before you come in! Christina, what are you doing when you should be working? Hey, stay back! Hey, what's with that? Oh, this is terrible. Right, Raffled. What kind of laugh? Fret not, Christina. Or should I say, @channeler Kurisu! Don't call me that. I knew it already. Indeed, I've known it for a long time. You reek of @channeler. How rude. My perfume isn't that strong. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about your soul's power level. But it's cute how you try to hide it @channeler Kurisu. Do not call me that. Your soul's power level, huh? My silly remarks seem to me to have a much deeper meaning now. Was the girl in front of me one day going to, as Dr. Leskinen had said, become a real artificial soul? When that happened, what were we supposed to call a soul that still existed in this world after the body was gone? Not dead or alive, but something in between. This wasn't science anymore. It was philosophy, or maybe religion. Enough messing around. Okabe didn't come here to waste his time with this stuff. The way you're trying to change the subject makes me even more suspicious. I'm going to infect you with a virus. I was kidding. I won't bring it up again. Kurisu quickly bowed her head. I bet back when Kurisu was still alive, she had conversations like this with Maho every day. I'm sure Dr. Leskinen had a lot of fun watching them. It was actually kind of cute. Sorry about that, Okabe. Want to try talking to her? Oh. Maho offered me the seat in front of the PC. Kurisu's face was on the monitor right in front of me. When our eyes met, she smiled a little. I didn't know she reacted like this to people when she first met them. But my meeting with Kurisu went about as badly as it possibly could have. I realized that her prickly attitude towards me could have been unusual. Ask me whatever you want. I'll answer anything I can. Yeah. this wasn't good. I was remembering every moment I ever spent with Kurisu. I couldn't think of what to say. And then the words that came out of my mouth were... Is it possible to create a time machine? That was what I had once argued about with Kurisu on another world line. In the end, I'd lost the argument completely. What? Huh? A time machine, you said. Where did this come from? It's just a test. I wanted to see if she was capable of thought experiments. Well, Kurisu? Let me see. My conclusion is that it's not possible. But we don't know for sure that it's impossible, I guess. What? That wasn't what she said. I'll begin with my conclusion. The very idea of a time machine is idiotic. That's what Kurisu had said in the Alpha World line. I remember that well. I think the very idea of a time machine is idiotic. I remembered our old debate and decided to repeat what Kurisu had said then. It's too early to assume that. You think so? It's true that scientists all around the world have proposed time travel theories. There are 11 major ones and countless minor ones, but none of them are any more than hypotheses. And some of them directly contradict one another. Correct. For example, there's cosmic string theory and wormhole theory, where time travel is possible as a thought experiment, but no one has a clue where you would go to get cosmic strings or exotic matter. In other words, it's not realistic. This was also something that Kurisu had told me in the Alpha World line. But the Kurisu on the screen was unmoved. That's probably because scientists haven't discovered something more important yet. Then you think it's possible to create a time machine? We don't know for sure that it's impossible. That's what I said, remember? Yeah, her opinion was slightly different. Was this because I was in the Beta World line? Or perhaps... Hey, Hyajo. She knows she's made from a copy of the original's memories, right? Of course. Then, I can't think of a good example, but... Is it like identical twins? You can't tell them apart at birth, but as they grow, differences start to form? Or something like that. We're still investigating that, but... If the memories they build up are different, I think that of course they become something different from the original human. The professor agrees with me. See. It was then that I heard the door on the other side of the partition slam shut. Is that the professor? From the loud sound of the footsteps, I'd assume so. I could definitely hear somebody stomping around outside. And then after a heavy knock, the door to the booth flung open.
Rintarou!
Rintarou! Rintarou? The professor opened his arms wide as he came inside. He grabbed my hand and began to wave it around. I hadn't realized he was this friendly. He seemed to think he was giving me a handshake, but it felt like I was being worked over by a pro wrestler.
Hey boy, what's up?
I'm fine, thanks.
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
And you? Oh, okay, well, he is speaking. Okay. Okabe, your English is terrible. Shut up, Christina! Christina? Oh no. I'm so focused on the professor I used my old nickname for her. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. I am worried about it. Why am I Christina? I told you, it's nothing! You're freaking out a lot over nothing. I said shut up, Christina! Kurisu! Kurisu and Mahu both seemed lost in thought. You called her Christina, huh? You too! Just drop it. I didn't want any more questions about this. Since the professor was here, I decided to ask more about how Amadeus's memories worked. Professor, is it possible for Amadeus's memories to be externally modified? But the professor wasn't listening to my question. He seemed to be frantically searching his pockets for something. When I think of it, I didn't see that translator device on his ear. He must have been looking for it, which meant odds were good he didn't even hear my question. Modifying my memories? It's theoretically possible. Kurisu herself answered in the professor's place. For example, it would be possible to make me think that my name was Christina. But memory data isn't like normal data. It's much more complex. I'm aware of no successful attempts to modify it. And even if the attempt succeeded, I would notice it and repair myself. I keep logs in an area that only I can access. In other words, a secret diary. If there was a discrepancy between my current memories and my diary, there's a very high probability I'd become suspicious. What's more, my memories are backed up at regular intervals. Even if they were altered beyond the point where I could self-repair, I would still be able to restore them. I would lose any memories that had formed between that and the last backup, though. Let's see. Regardless of the topic of discussion, it felt strange. What Maho had said before she loaded Kurisu was true. I was starting to feel like I was chatting with the real Kurisu. The way she wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise when she started talking about science was exactly like the real Kurisu. It's interesting, though. I turned towards Kurisu and spoke. You're able to consider yourself objectively as a machine. What I see in books and comics, I expect you to say, I'm not a machine, I'm human. That's pure nonsense. Even humans speak of themselves as a combination of hardware and software, right? They just call it biology and psychology. What's the difference? I see. She's better with comebacks than anybody, isn't she? When she heard this, Kurisu turned toward Maho, her CG eyes big and round. Though it was really just the camera sensor moving. You know, Maho, this may not be any of my business, but you should watch what you say. You finally got your chance. What if he stops liking you? What? Come on, don't bring that up again! But it's what I find most interesting right now. It's what I find most meaningless right now. What if this is the last chance you'll ever get? You're the one who needs to learn to watch what you say.
Oh, you stink!
I know! She does stink, doesn't she? Hi, Monokuma. How are you doing? You're playing the Steins game rumored to have the legendary protagonist Rintarou. Yes, you are right. You are so right. You're so right, Monokuma. Yes, exactly. Except he's trying to suppress him in this world line because he is actually very, 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 very traumatized, and he's speaking with the specter of a dead girl at the moment. So you know, yeah. How are you doing, Monokuma? Dr. Leskinen was clapping his hands together and laughing. I had to chuckle a little too. You doing good? That's good. Glad to hear that. Afterward, the three of us, including the professor, talked to Kurisu, discussing technical subjects and making small talk. The next thing I knew, it had been almost an hour. I actually felt a little sad when Maho told me that it was time to stop. Just a single hour, the strangeness I felt about Amadeus had disappeared, and I felt like I was really talking to Kurisu. I'll go back in time and turn Mighty into Gel Banagirl. No! 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 Do not put that evil on me, Monokuma! No! No! Do not do that! No! 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 Do not! No! 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 Do not put that evil on me. Let's just get back. Let's just get back to the non. Let's get back to the non-Jelly Man stuff, shall we? Dr. Leskinen stopped me before I left. So, interested in being a tester? I tilted my head when I heard the professor speak with the translator.
Amadeus
Amadeus doesn't have a lot of conversation samples. I've got all the kids in my lab helping as much as I can, but it's not enough. But Amadeus is still in the research stage, and we can't let just anyone talk to it. So I want you, Rintarou, to help us, since you were her friend. I remember they'd mentioned something about being a tester at the party, so this is what they were talking about. The professor and I will be staying in Japan for a while. We'd like you to be a tester while we're here. Good job. Just be talking to Kurisu. There's no real quota. Just talk to her when you feel like it. But twice a month, I want you to report on your testing to me and the professor. Oh, and I'm sorry, but we can't pay you. I want you to keep that in mind when you decide. Yeah, this will be payment enough. I'm aware that it's cruel to ask you to talk to an AI that's perfectly identical to your dead friend. If you're not interested, feel free to turn us down. I remember what it felt like to talk to Kurisu. When the monitor was just about to turn off, this is what Kurisu had said. Let's talk again sometime, Ritaro Okabe. That's what I'd hoped for when I came here, wasn't it? I'll do it. Please, let me do it. I thought I was ready when I accepted the job. But I had never expected this. Oh, that's his phone! There's an incoming call on my smartphone. Also, hey, tips! Something was added to the codex! Smartphone! A term used to describe phones that appeared around the year 2010 that are capable of email, scheduling, net browsing, and other advanced capabilities. The introduction of smartphones with advanced touchscreens has caused most analysts to expect the market for these items to undergo explosive growth. Incoming call on my smartphone. I trembled. Ah! Call from Kurisu! What?
Hi.
Hello? It's Makise. Kurisu was displayed on the screen. Yes, it was Amadeus. The app the professor had given me allowed me to access the servers at Victor Kongroo University from anywhere, 24 hours a day. Of course, you'll be able to contact Kurisu. But Kurisu will also sometimes contact you. When that happens, talk to her. This I hadn't predicted. I'd never thought she would call me. Or that her face would be displayed on the screen. Or should I introduce myself with, it's Christina. She looked really mad. I could guess why. I'd gotten 8 calls from Kurisu and I ignored them all. Mao and Dr. Leskinen had explained things, so I thought I'd call once myself to make a proper introduction, but I didn't expect you to refuse to pick up 8 times. Why aren't you saying anything? Talking to a realistic girl on my smartphone with so many people around is pretty embarrassing. Well, if you don't want to talk, that's fine, but... What's with you? I'm sure this is my chance to talk more than usual. I feel like an idiot. Just know that during the test period, I'm always connected with you. Contact me whenever you feel like it. I'm busy, so I don't know if I'll always be able to answer your calls. Man, what is this? More than that strangely polite, friendly Kurisu from yesterday. Angry, stubborn, more curious than anyone. The way she seemed to be constantly challenging you. Anyway, goodbye. I realized that this really was Kurisu Makise. That was the girl I spent those 3 weeks with. Lab member 004, my assistant, Christina, aka Kurisu Makise. Her movements were a little more jerky than I had seen on the computer in Dr. Lex's office, but evidently that was because of the smartphone. This alone was enough to make me feel like my heart was being squeezed dry. I stood still, holding the smartphone tight. Kyoma! I mean, Okarin! What's wrong? I'm coming. I thought to myself as I ran to catch up with the others. Maybe Dr. Leskinen was right, and this test would be a very cruel thing for me. But even so, in my mind, I was already starting to think about what I would talk about with Kurisu. It's happening. Things are it's happening, y'all. It's happening, y'all. He's starting to get entranced. Maho Piajo was remembering. She was remembering the last night she'd spoken to Kurisu Makise in person. March 28, 2010, at 11:18 p.m. Seriously, why do I have to do this now of all times? That night, Kurisu was whispering to herself a lot. Victor Kongroo University's Brain Science Institute. Maho and Kurisu worked in the same room at the lab. Thus, Maho was forced to hear Kurisu's angry mumblings whether she wanted to or not. A little was fine, but she'd been acting like this all day and was keeping Maho from concentrating. She finally snapped and turned away from the paper she was writing. Hey, Kurisu. English was the language that was commonly used at Victor Kongroo University. When the other staff and professors were around, she'd always use English, but when it was just her and Kurisu, Maho would often speak in Japanese. Would you stop it? What? Stop what? Kurisu stopped messing with her luggage and turned around. You're so loud I can't concentrate. I need to turn this paper into my tomorrow. Was I talking to myself? Want me to sue you for violating the local noise ordinance? Sorry. Kurisu apologized and started to scratch the back of her head. Maho decided to calm down by standing up and going to the shelf where the research notes were kept. There were several books she needed for her paper, but they were all up on the top shelf. This must be someone's idea of a prank, she'd said, as she stared up at a heavy book. She decided to try and reach for it, but no matter how she stood on her toes, she came nowhere close. Her tiny little arms seemed to her like dead branches waving in the wind. She bit her lip. After she'd skipped grades to go to college and then come to work in this lab, she had more chances than ever before to hate her small stature. Whenever she walked outside after dark, the cops would stop her. Even with her ID, she couldn't get into bars, and buying medicine and alcohol at drugstores was a pain. The most humiliating part was that no matter where she went, everyone thought she was in middle school. Nobody believed her when she said she was 20. Everything in America was just too big. Shall I get that for you? Kurisu noticed the trouble Maho was having and came over. But Maho was stubborn and decided to pretend nothing was wrong. Kimochi, you're fried in the time that you've been gone. You only answered 3 questions. Oh my gosh! Been there, done that. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. That is a lot of time in between questions. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Cosmetica. It's fine. I'm not having any problems. This is so dumb. How do you do this? What question are you answering now, I wonder? Sure you are. I'm not. Sure? I'm sure. But there's a book? There's a book off the shelf I want too, so... Kurisu easily reached up to the highest shelf and grabbed the book Maho wanted. It must be nice to be tall. Oh, I'm not really that... Oh. Kurisu covered her mouth when she realized she just said something she shouldn't have. Thanks, that was a big help. If you need something in Japan, tell me. I'll send it. You figure out literally everything in an amalgamation of lines? Oh, I see, so like angles and stuff. So real, I wish I was taller, me too. Sometimes. I will. Thank you. Kurisu handed over the book as she spoke. And then suddenly, her eyes went wide and began to sparkle. Hey, Maho. About what we were just talking about. What were we just talking about? What were we just talking about? Talking to yourself. Huh? Oh. It looked like Kurisu had come up with a new idea. This was a regular occurrence for Kurisu, and Maho was used to it. Wouldn't that be proof of a self? For Amadeus? Yeah. Yeah, if she started talking to herself, I'd be pretty surprised. No matter how advanced an AI was, it wouldn't talk to itself unless you programmed it to do that. And there was no need or even point to a feature like that. If an AI started talking to itself, that might be a good indication that there was a self to talk to. But Maho hesitated to agree with her. You should watch what you say here. Don't forget that there are a lot of people who think that a soul is something God gives to humanity. That's right, isn't it? Kurisu's expression dimmed. Kurisu and Maho were both treated as heretics in the lab. Especially since they were Japanese and women. And Kurisu was simply too talented. Nobody ever actually did anything, but a lot of the older scientists were definitely avoiding her. Dr. Leskinen was the chief scientist, and the fact that he liked the two of them was all that let them do their research in peace. If the other scientists heard what Kurisu had just said, who knows what they'd do. Maho patted Kurisu on the shoulder. Well, go have a good time in Japan and refresh yourself. I'm still not happy about that. Why? I think you'll have fun. If I'm doing an exchange, it should be to a graduate school. Why high school? It has to be high school, right? By Japanese standards, you should still be in high school. Just accept that the professor is doing something nice for you. Maho remembered what Dr. Leskinen had said. Kurisu has a fragile personality. All the bickering in the lab is putting her under a lot of stress, and she's at her limit. It might ruin her as a researcher. That's what the professor had said. He was really worried about her. And you have to go to Japan in July anyway, right? So it's perfect timing. Yeah, I'm actually kind of down about that too. The Akihabara Techno Forum, was that it? I'm still not used to giving lectures. I don't know what to do. Now that you're published in science, expect a lot more of this. You need to practice. I'd rather not.
Suck!
The only thing keeping you sane is your caramel chocolate cheesecake ice cream? Oh my god. Bro. Gimme. I'm hungry. And what do you mean, Monokuma, by suck? What do you mean? Kurisu whispered to herself. Maho didn't like being around lots of other people either, so she knew how Kurisu felt. But there were a lot of scientists who wanted to be published in a major journal, then go on to give public lectures. And she'd beaten out many of them to win that honor. People were jealous. She needed to fulfill her responsibilities, even if just to shut them up. Eat the entire thing. I can snack on a gelled banana. No! Monokuma, no! Mayuri thinks that they taste gross, and I take her word for it. Maybe I'm not that much better, though. Maho silently laughed a little and hated herself for doing it. Maybe I'm just as jealous as they are. That feeling, which is a little like fear, was something that she always felt. The girl in front of her was just that different from Maho. Someone she could never reach, no matter how hard she tried. Someone who'd surpassed everything she'd ever done almost instantly. Maho? Kurisu was peering into her face, confused. Maho felt flustered. Are you meeting your dad in Japan? She'd heard that Kurisu's parents were divorced, but that they were separated. Her mom was still in America and her dad was in Japan. After Maho said it, she'd wonder if that was too personal a question. But Kurisu smiled a little. Actually, I got an invitation from him. Oh yeah? He's announcing a new theory this summer. I'm thinking of going to see the announcement. A new theory? Kurisu's smile changed into a small expression of consternation. I haven't heard the details yet. I know it's got something to do with the theory of relativity. Oh hey, we got tips! We got more tips! The term theory of relativity refers to the two theories published by Einstein. The special relativity published in 1905, and general relativity in 1916. These are the source of the famous equation E equals mc squared. Special relativity makes clear the following. Matter cannot exceed the speed of light. The closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time gets. If you reach the speed of light, time stops. And the closer you get to the speed of light, the more your length decreases. If you reach the speed of light, your length becomes 0. The closer matter gets to the speed of light, the more its mass increases. If it were to reach the speed of light, its mass would become infinite. General relativity adds in the following. Time slows down in the presence of a strong gravity field. Space compresses in the presence of a strong gravity field. Mass increases in the presence of a strong gravity field. Wait, how are Dadu and I very alike? What's that supposed to mean, Monokuma? Some juicy chicken, #1. Okay, you know that does sound good. Your dog is staring into your soul? Oh, please, I have no soul. Yeah, no, seriously, Monokuma, what does that mean? What do you mean Dadu and I are alike? I'm very descriptive and obsessed with the noms. I am not obsessed with noms! I just know what I like. And of course I'm descriptive, I'm a writer. Why wouldn't I be? Yeah? Maho felt like she was hiding something, but didn't question her anymore. Anyway, take care. I'll be expecting presents. And I sent for the girls who take the wheel. Oh! What do you want? Since you're going to Akihabara, why not something rare? You know a lot about Akihabara, right? Huh? What do you say that? You're always reading those sites during breaks. What? Did Amadeus tell you that? She wouldn't do that. Sometimes I'm right behind you and you're so busy watching videos you don't even notice. I can't believe you found out. Damn my carelessness. Kurisu actually seemed upset for once. This really surprised Maho. Maho, please don't tell the others. I don't think it's really something you need to hide, but the idea of sharing a secret with Kurisu made Maho happy. Got it. I won't tell anyone. Thanks so much. Kurisu seemed genuinely relieved. Maho continued. Hey. Once you get back from Japan, let's find out if Amadeus can talk to herself. Okay. Kurisu had a very happy look on her face. It was the face of a born scientist who loved to explore the unknown more than anything in the world. Her smile was as innocent as that of a child who'd just been given a new toy. It was very beautiful. And it was one of the reasons that Maho liked the younger researcher quite a bit. But the promise the two of them made would never be fulfilled. In fact, they would never even meet again. Not in this world, line. It felt like she was thinking about Kurisu more and more since she'd come to Japan. Maho didn't know if it was because she was in Japan or because she was talking with the Amadeus Kurisu more often. Or maybe, was it because she'd met the young man named Rintarou Okabe? Those things about Kurisu that I don't, huh? Thinking back, the first day they'd met, she'd broken down and cried right in front of him. It was something she didn't really want to remember. She chased the memories away out of embarrassment. You were thinking of Okabe, weren't you? She snapped her head toward the PC monitor. Maho was in the middle of a conversation with Kurisu. Yeah, that's right. She shrugged her shoulders and tried to ignore Kurisu's mischievous smile. Don't you think it's strange that Dr. Leskinen's got such a high opinion of him? He handed over your access rights to a guy he'd only met twice. Is it really wise to trust him so much? He looked like a nice person. Yeah? I can't tell if he's got any ambitions or not. I feel like I don't really understand him. You like him? Would you cut it out? Maho brought her face close to the monitor and glared, but Kurisu seemed unconcerned. There's no real need to hide it, is there? I can understand why you didn't want to say anything yesterday when he was right in front of you, but now it's just the two of us. Kurisu may not have looked like someone who would, but she really enjoyed the sort of gossip. Maybe girl talk was the right word. Maho sighed and sat back in her chair. The creaking sound echoed throughout the empty office. I really don't feel that way about him. I still don't even really know who he is. I see. Well, that makes sense. Kurisu let the matter drop. This bothered Maho a little. But what does interest me? What is it? No, it's nothing. Maho had been spending a lot of time thinking about something since yesterday, to the point where she even put off her research. What kind of relationship was there between Kurisu and Okabe? What was Kurisu feeling in the days before she died? She would have liked to ask Okabe if she could. Maho, did my original and Okabe know each other? Uh-oh, the jig is up! Maho shivered. It was as if Kurisu had been reading her mind. Or maybe not, actually, because that was, like, before the exchange. Because her memories here are from before the exchange happened. So, like, this branch is, like, way off. Okay, never mind, the jig's not up, we're fine. How could you tell? I came to that conclusion after listening to Okabe and hearing your response. It's all just circumstantial evidence, but do you want me to show my proof anyway? It's fine. Knowing you, the conclusion is perfect. The way they used words like proof in normal conversation showed that both Maho and Kurisu were scientists at heart. If he has memories of me that I don't possess, that's likely to cause problems with our conversations. I'll leave it up to you how to deal with it. He may bring it up, possibly. And if you want, you can ask him. Maho still didn't know if Okabe would even access Amadeus at all. They weren't forcing him to. Feigning ignorance is the same as lying, isn't it? I should be able to get some good data, I think. Yes, it was interesting. But that was her opinion as a researcher working on Amadeus. How would Rintarou Okabe feel about it? Wouldn't this be rubbing salt on the wounds in his heart? Maho realized she was getting much too sentimental. Maybe it's because Because I'm in Japan. It'd been a week since she'd arrived. First thing she planned to do was offer flowers. But she still couldn't bring herself to visit the Akihabara radio building, the place where Kurisu had died. Oh hey! The radio building, an 8-story commercial building in front of Akihabara Station. It contains lots of computer and hobby shops. On the 7th floor, there's a plate reading the birthplace of personal computing. Which we've seen a couple of times in Love Live, right, Pika? Anyway. Okay, at this point, we are going blind. I've never seen anything past this point! The sun was setting earlier, now that December had arrived. Katsumi Nakase was surprised by how quickly it had gotten dark while she was out rummaging through the cosplay shops. Short from costume play, the act of dressing up in a costume. In Japan, cosplay refers to dressing up as a character from an anime or manga, and people who cosplay are called cosplayers, or sometimes just layers. Most cosplay costumes are handmade. The wheeled suitcase on the ground next to her felt heavy. She'd done her best to jam everything she'd bought today inside and was bursting at the seams. Still, spending a whole day shopping with her cosplay friends was a lot of fun. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. Her footsteps were light as she walked back to the station. Fubuki, you look like you're about to start skipping around, don't you? Oh, you can tell. It was so much fun doing all that shopping today. I'm so satisfied with what we got. Mayushi had a lot of fun shopping too, thanks to Fubuki. Thanks for coming! I'll do anything for you, Mayushi. Fubuki tried to grab her friend, Mayuri Shina, for a hug. Mayuri dodged out of the way. Mayuri may have looked like an airhead, but she was actually quite athletic. Fubuki, by the way, was Katsumi Nakase's cosplay name. Doesn't she look a lot like Chie Satonaka from Persona 4? Katsumi was in her second year of high school. She and Mayuri were the same age, but were total opposites. Katsumi was boyish and athletic, and when she cosplayed as a male character, she attracted more female Kamiko than male ones. Kamiko, those who appear en masse at cosplay and anime events and use expensive SLR cameras to take pictures of scantily clad cosplayers. The so-called low-angulars, men who take upskirt pictures of cosplayers in Akihabara and at Kamima, are not considered true Kamiko. A true Kamiko must be a gentleman at all times. Yes, that's important. Now we don't have to worry about Winter Kamima, do we? Oh, Kamima, which is basically just Kamaket. Fictional Giga Market, an otaku festival held every year in August and December at Tokyo Big Sight. It's basically Kamaket. The four friends had gone to cosplay shops along Yugawaya Maidens Road and Tokyo Hands and Ikebukuro, then moved to Akihabara and visited several more. More tips! Fictional, a home improvement chain based out of Tokyo, but unlike most such stores, they have large buildings outside the city centers. Which has large buildings outside the city centers. Tokyo Hands has many department stores-style buildings located around major train stations. Tokyo Hands stores also carry a wide variety of products, from professional-grade goods and materials to fishing and variety goods. Maidens Road, the nickname of a street near the east exit of Ikebukuro Station, and has many doujinshi and anime merchandise stores for female-oriented anime, and is known as a mecca for female otaku. Yugawaya, a large specialty store founded over 60 years ago that sells craft and hobby supplies, fabric, and trinkets. There are over 60 of them, mostly in eastern Japan, but also all around the country. This is all part of their final preparations for Winter Kamima. Sure, but it's Mayuri doing almost all the work. Don't push yourself too hard, okay, Mayuri? Kaede sounded a little worried. Her real name was Kaede Kurishima, and she used her real name as her cosplay pseudonym. She was 3 years older than Katsumi and in college. Kaede was extremely feminine, and her measurements were just like the ones magazine models claimed to have, but she was very shy. People had tried many times to persuade her to enter the pageant at her college, but she'd always refused, saying, "Normal events are kind of scary." But even so, cosplaying at Kamima with the rest of them was something she looked forward to. So, why don't we all help Mayuri and make outfits together at this time? Amayuki proposed. She had very noble, elegant features, but the rest of her was easygoing and laid back. Though Kasumi was a fellow girl, she still thought Amayuki was beautiful. Even her light blue, penetrating eyes lacked the arrogance that beautiful women usually possessed. They were filled instead with a friendly light. Her real name was Yuki Amane. She was a senior at Meiji University, and in the same club as Kaede. She was the oldest of the four. By the way, doesn't that last name sound familiar? She once tried to give up cosplay and focus on job hunting. After just 6 months, she'd given up on work and gone back to costuming. Since then, she'd been spending more time with Katsumi and the others. Oh boy, I don't think we need to know exactly what job hunting is. Oh my god. This is just my controller drifting here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There we go. An unemployed person seeking employment often used to refer to colleges looking for their first real career-oriented job. Which we already do. But whatever. I like reading it anyway. The math difficulty spike is insane. 2 years ago, this was the easiest ever. What happened? Different paradigms. For sure. It's definitely a different way of looking at things. Geometry. I presume it's geometry you're working on. Aw, you don't have to help me. Everyone smiled at her, but Mayuri quickly shook her head. You guys paid for more than half the cost of the supplies, right? That's enough to make Mayushi very happy. You're making our outfits, so we'd feel bad if we didn't pay. And you know, I've always wanted to make really neat outfits like you do. Even Algebra 1 you struggled on? Oh, I see, I see. Yep. Mayushi's outfits are always really high quality. I'm super grateful. You see? We really want to help Mayuri. Okay, let's all make them together. Katsumi knew that it made Mayuri really happy when someone praised her cosplay outfits. Oh, but there's actually a favor I wanted to ask you guys. A favor? You see... Mayuri told them about an event that had quickly become a mainstay of the Japanese holiday year. We're having a Christmas party, so Mayushi was hoping that Yuki and Kaede and Fubuki would all come. A Christmas party, huh? Yeah, can you come? I wanna go! I wanna go! Katsumi's only plan for Christmas Eve was dinner with her family, so she raised her hand instantly. None of her friends at school wanted to do anything that night. She'd been a little put out about that since it meant they all had boyfriends. I can go too. Kaede also nodded, but Yuki seemed a little hesitant. I don't know if I should go. Huh? Do you have plans? Well, of course a girl as pretty as Yuki is gonna have a ton of guys asking her out for a Christmas date. What? That's not true. Really? Then I'll take you for myself! I'd rather go on a Christmas date with you than do anything else in the world, Fubuki. Aw, I love you, Yuki! I thought you only cared about Mayuri. I love Mayushi, and I love you too! Katsumi quickly jumped over to Kaede and gave her a big hug. Kaede was soft and smelled good, and enduring the sort of sexual harassment was nothing new for her. Oh, and Yuki? Can you show Mayushi how to make a yummy quiche? Yuki was an excellent chef and had been teaching Mayuri a lot lately. Both Katsumi and Kaede would also occasionally participate in what they called Yuki Amane's cooking lessons. Sure. What kind of quiche? Mayushi thinks spinach and mushroom is good. Ham, tomato, and bacon is good too, you know. Oh, just thinking about it makes me drool. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, then I'll teach you how to make both. Really? That's right. Everyone would be happy if there were lots of different ones, right? Is this for the Christmas party? Yep. There's less than a month left, so I want to learn it in time. Then we'll have to train extra hard. When do you want to do it? Tomorrow? Yeah, Mayushi is okay with that. Katsumi went over her schedule in her head. Tomorrow, huh? I'm supposed to meet a friend. I've got work. Katsumi really wanted to go, so she was pretty disappointed. She would have loved the chance to eat one of Yuki's good quiches. As she thought about the quiche, her stomach began to rumble. Also, hey, a tip. A traditional French dish made by filling a pie crust with cream, cheese, eggs, meat, and vegetables, then cooking it to a flaky golden brown. It was about time for dinner. Yuki and Mayuri worked out the time and place for their meetup. The place I'm staying is a little far from here, so... How about the lab? Yeah, that's fine. I'll work hard and learn the recipe. I hope it's a fun party. Yep, Mayushi's gonna make Santa outfits. Will you all wear them? Wow, you're making even more outfits than the ones we need for Kamima? You're really excited about this. Mayushi is raring to go. Like Banjo and Kazooie! Mayuri posed like she was cheering. You're making Santa outfits. I'd like one with a cute miniskirt. And then some white knee socks and red boots. Huh? That would look good on you, Kaede, but do you think it would look good on me? Katsumi spoke to Mayuri and Yuki without any confidence in her voice. I know you like the cute outfits, Bets. There was nothing Katsumi could say. She was right. It bothered Katsumi a lot that she looked like a boy. And she knew that sort of clothing didn't look right on her. Still, at heart, she was a young girl and she wanted to wear cute clothes. Leave it to Mayushi. I'll make clothes that look great on you. Oh, that's my bride! Marry me! You're so silly, Fubuki. Don't talk like Daru does. Ugh, getting compared to that perverted gentleman kind of hurts. By the way, you're going to wear the Santa outfit too, right, Mayuri? What? Don't what me? You're cute. You should cosplay more. But I just make the clothes. I don't wear them. Objection! That's a waste! Aw, not you too, Fubuki. And what's more, I bet Okabe wants to see you in a cute cosplay outfit. Huh? Okarin? Mayuri made a weird noise as soon as she heard that name. Okarin? Oh, Mayushi's boyfriend. Right. Katsumi had met him many times. He was tall, but always looked pale and thin, and whenever he laughed, he seemed kind of sad. But from what Mayuri said, until just a half a year ago, he'd been a totally different person. She said he was haughty and arrogant, but also kind and a great leader. Mayuri was known to let her emotions influence her judgment, so Kasumi didn't know how much of that description was accurate. Mayuri started to freak out even more after hearing the word boyfriend. Hey, that happens in One World Line, can't deny it. Fubuki, Okarin and Mayushi aren't like that, okay? Aw, come on! Yuki and Kaede weren't buying it either. Honestly, Okarin and Mayuri seemed more like an old wedded couple that had been together for years than boyfriend and girlfriend. It's true! Okarin is somebody else he likes. What? Mayuri sounded totally unconcerned, which made Katsumi even more surprised. Is that true? Really? Yep. Who could have guessed? It was Yuki, the eldest, who spoke first. Sorry. Should we not have said anything? Nah. Mayushi and Okarin are childhood friends and get along great, so it's okay. I see. Mayuri's smile seemed very sad to Katsumi. She felt the sudden impulse to give her schoolmate a hug. Anyway. Mayuri smiled and walked over to Yuki as if to blow away the awkwardness. So, what about you, Yuki? Huh? Me? Yep. So are you spending Christmas with your boyfriend? I really don't have one. Really? You guys all have the wrong idea. I'm not that popular. Between you and me, I'd never even had a boyfriend. What? First Mayuri, then Yuki. Katsumi was stunned. Is that true? I didn't think it would be that much of a surprise. Then Yuki, Mayuri started to fidget. How about Daru, maybe? Hashida? Yep. Oh wait, where's this coming from, Mayushi? Hashida's a perverted gentleman! Who knows what I'll do to Yuki? The man that Katsumi and Kaede were insulting was Itaru Hashida, a college student and a member of Mayuri's club. He was a hardcore otaku, one of the hybrid types, who said he enjoyed both 2- and 3-dimensional girls. And like Katsumi had said, he was a perverted gentleman. He would say perverse things all day without the slightest shame. Whenever you told him he was a pervert, he would say, "No, I'm a perverted gentleman." He was a dangerous guy. But Yuki didn't seem bothered. She actually looked a little sad. Hashida's a nice guy, but, you know... I don't think he likes girls like me. Wait, is she interested? What? No. I do not know what goes through this girl's head, but... No, he would be all over her. No. Mayuri was shocked far above and beyond her usual limit. No, honestly, I concur, though! Nonsense just came out of her mouth! She was so surprised, she let go of her suitcase's handle and let it fall to the ground. Instead of picking it up, she started talking frantically. That's not true! Daru's... he really likes you. I'm sure of it. Mayushi guarantees it. Remember how he acted when we met him at Summer Kamima? Yuki had met Mayuri 4 months ago at Summer Kamima. Katsumi and Kaede had come wearing outfits Mayuri made. Kaede found Yuki at the convention hall, all by herself, and they met up. Afterward, they'd all gone to a party where she met Mayuri's friend, Itaru Hashida. Katsumi had definitely witnessed that Yuki and Itaru having a friendly conversation. Ever since then, Yuki and Mayuri and Daru had become friends, and Yuki had started going to Mayuri's club, the Future Gadget Laboratory. In other words, Yuki and Itaru had been talking ever since Summer Kamima. Still, Yuki chuckled sadly and shook her head. No, I can tell. He's avoiding me. So I'm thinking it's probably best if I don't go to the Christmas party. Aww. Why would he be avoiding you? I think Hashida likes girls who are more like, a little sister? And a little sister is really strong-willed and who bosses her big brother around. Aww. Like, maybe Suzuha? 2 words! No! Wait! That's... For some reason, Mayuri looked like she was about to cry. She seemed to want to say something, but couldn't bring herself to. Her lips were quivering. Mayuri? It's nothing. But it certainly didn't look like nothing. Katsumi couldn't bear to watch her anymore, and so she gave in to her impulses. Mayushi, don't make that face! You look cutest when you smile! Come on! If you don't smile, I'll tickle you! Tickle, 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 tickle! Stop! Katsumi snuck behind Mayuri and started to tickle her under her arms. Yep. Okay. You give up? Oh, Fubuki, you're so mean! You're too cute, Mayushi! What are you doing? Mayuri was laughing so hard she was crying, and this time Katsumi succeeded in giving her a hug. Even though they were public, she started rubbing her cheeks against her. Mayushi, I like you. I love you! What? Hey, Fubuki! I want to take you home and lick you forever! But that would be really bad! I don't care if it's bad! Marry me! I can't do that! Mayuri tried to run away, but Fubuki grabbed her and started to kiss her all over. She does not consent to this! I'm kinda fired. I'm kinda tired. That's Mayushi's line! In the end, Katsumi kept clinging to Mayuri until they reached the station. She felt a lot better, but catching Mayuri when she tried to escape used up a lot of energy. Either way, now that she was satisfied... Uh-oh! No, not the all the world line. No, no. No, not going back to that. She shuddered and turned back towards Mayuri as an image came to her mind from out of nowhere. Hey, Mayushi. Huh? What is it? Let's cosplay together at Winter Kamima, okay? I told you before, right? For Winter Kamima, Mayushi is just gonna make things. Well, that's fine, just make sure you come to Winter Kamima with the 3 of us, okay? Of course! That's what we did all this shopping for, right? Yeah. But still, it's a promise, okay? Yeah, it's a promise. Mayuri and Yuki split up with them in front of the station since they were taking a different train. Bye-bye! Good night, Mayuri, Yuki. Bye! Yep. Bye-bye. Kasumi stood still and watched the two of them until they were out of sight. She felt like she was about to cry and looked up to stop the tears from falling. Fubuki? Huh? Hayate was standing next to her, looking worried. What's wrong? I'm sorry. It's nothing. It's not nothing. Is there something going on with Mayuri? Please, tell me. Even after Kaede asked, Kasumi wasn't sure she should tell her. There was no way she'd believe it anyway. You were more hyper than usual today. It felt really forced. I noticed. Of course I did. Katsumi and Kaede had known each other for 2 years. Since their ages were so different, they treated each other like an older and younger sister. So at times like this, Kaede was really sharp. Kaede didn't talk much, but that meant she paid a lot of attention to the people around her. Part of it was also that Katsumi wasn't good at hiding things. She just couldn't lie to Kaede no matter what. She gave up and decided to say it. Mayushi... Yeah? She's going to die. What? What? What do you mean? Kasumi remembered the nightmares and the things she kept seeing no matter how much she didn't want to. I have these dreams. Dreams? They started in summer, I think. Every night I have dreams about Mayushi dying. Each time you and I are there crying and crying, but there's nothing we can do. So this is interesting. So it seems like she's having the dreams that Mayuri did in the other world line. So how is she getting those dreams? I mean, typically reading Steiner only works for like only like applies to like your alternate selves, right? Like only you would be aware of like the stuff that, you know, your other alternate self would be aware of. So why is she aware of like Mayuri's alternate self? That's interesting. The one I had last night was the worst. Mayushi just collapses right in front of us as she stops moving. Okarin is screaming and holding her. Screaming so loud. What happened to me? Why do I keep having these dreams? Calm down, Fubuki. It's probably just because you're tired. Is it? Is it really? You saw Mayuri today. She was just fine, right? Kaede gave Katsumi a gentle shoulder hug. So it's okay. I don't want Mayushi to die. That's impossible. It won't happen. Ever? Ever. Okay. Kaede's words made Kasumi calm down a little. She was glad to have an older friend like this. Anyway, it's just your imagination. There's no way something like that awful could happen. Her hand squeezed Kasumi's shoulder tightly. Being held like this made Kasumi feel a lot better. Sorry for being weird. But that night, she had the nightmares again. All right, well, now we're seeing things from Suzuha's perspective, I think. But I think we're going to end things off here tonight. Dang! Interesting, no? So apparently people can see events in the other world line that they themselves didn't even witness. Why is that? Theoretically, only Rintarou would have those memories, right? Like those specific ones. Because we were seeing specifically like the CGs where she was dying. And every one of those happened from Rintarou's point of view. So it's interesting. Oh boy. But yeah, this got even more interesting. I'm really excited. I can't wait to do another session of this. But when the next session of this is gonna happen, I don't know. We'll have to find out next time. But for now, I'll let all of you sleep. I'm not gonna read out. I want something to eat. I am actually quite hungry. I only had one like tub of soup all day, which is like, 900 calories, but that's still like significantly less than normal. So, yeah. So, good night, everybody, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, y'all.